Okay, Grandpa's ready.
Okay, good.
Yeah, sorry. You were giving me crap backstage because I was fumbling around, and now I'm still fumbling around. I forgot to put ice in my water. Damn it. I can't figure this out. Whatever. It is what it is.
Oh God, Bob.
How are you? How are you? How's life? How's things?
It's just joyous. How are you?
If I could get ready, and actually be ready, it would be better. You got to be prepared. Otherwise, if you're not prepared, you're unprepared.
It's probably because of all your Dakota Johnson movies.
This is true. I'm on
You're
number
just
13.
flustered.
I just finished Peanut Butter Falcon was number 13 in a row. Johnny would be proud.
He would be very proud.
Yes, he would. So, are you excited for tonight? Are you excited to possibly throat punch me? Holland Oates is hoping that you throat punch me and call me an asshole quite a few times.
It'll probably happen. So I'll keep the promise.
Before we get started, I do want to tell you, just in case you don't know the way my rankings are. So everybody's a little different with Letterboxd. Like Tony, the other day, he gave something 1.5 and a heart. I don't give hearts out. I just give ratings. Eventually, I'm going to start writing reviews. But if I give something above 3 stars, it means I liked it. There's something to like about it. I consider it like above average. So if something's 2.5, it's the definition of average to me. If I didn't like something, 2 stars or below. So anything that's above 3, I'm like, nice, successful recommendation. If you're below 2.5, it means I did not like your movies and you failed. And not a good job, Ashley.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could waste all that time for you.
I ran through your list pretty fast too. I think the first one I started with was Love Lies Bleeding as well. And then I watched I guess I just spoiled one of them. But oh well, it is what it is. Anyways, yeah. So I did start with one and then I watched another and then another, and I think I watched a bunch right away. So all right, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat here, and then we'll get started.
All right.
After I'm spoiling the list for people. Hey, Bob, Ashley, in chat, can't wait to see if Ashley gets a 5-star movie tonight, Mizzy says. I don't give out 5s very often, Ashley. Fish says, good evening, everyone. I'm ready to add to my list of great movies. Ellie says, hi, friends. Fish says, hi, and so on and so forth. We got Joe in the chat. Ellie's in the chat saying Mizzy and Fish. Fish says, hey, Missy, Ellie. We've got Tony in the chat with his 1 star and a heart. Allie's in the chat. I am not Fish, but I did not finish watching a Dakota Johnson movie. I did just finish watching a Dakota Johnson movie. Actually, Mizzy messaged me. He's like, did you see Ellie's review on Cha-Cha Real Smooth? I was like, yes, I did. He's like, I can't believe it.
How dare
Ellie loved Cha-Cha Real Smooth. See? Exactly. Even Mizzy was happy with her. House, what's up, Nicholas, in the chat? Sadly, I did not, Mizzy. Bob and Ashley are upset with me over.
Hey, her membership might get revoked.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later. Yeah, exactly. So, Ellie, you better kiss some ass tonight to get back on this good side here. Thanks, Mizzy. It was definitely a fun one. Hi, Marie from other side of the couch. Do you think blueberries will get brought up tonight?
Oh God! If Fish is around, yeah.
Yeah, Dolly says, good evening, everyone. Hope all is well with all of you fine folks. Hopefully get some good recommendations tonight. Tony's in the chat, like I said. Jane Doe Letty, we've got Movie Warehouse. Started my vacation day after I was done with work, Tony. Now it's 2 weeks of sleeping in and watching movies. That sounds fun. We got Corey in the chat. What's up, Corey? You did what, like a 4-hour live stream with him?
Yes.
Yeah. Just wondering how many of Ashley's picks are going to be shredded to shit by Bob. Possibly a lot. We'll see. Hey, Tony, been enjoying your straight face to smile lately. Looks great on you. You keep keeping the kids in line. Haha, not a stream without you. Thank you for being here, Marie. Not even 2 mentions in it. Bob mentions me and Dakota Johnson in the same damn sentence. You're welcome. Harry Potter was not one of the recommendations. Don't worry about that. But she still got it on in the background. I don't approve of that.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, caveman? Let's see here. If I skipped you, I do apologize. Just hang in there. I'll catch up with you later on. I'm going to go ahead and get started with your number 10 if you're up for it. You ready? Where the hell is it? Okay, right here. I hated this movie. Absolutely hated this movie. 1 star, and that is being nice. We've got, what the fuck is this movie? Gentlemen's Broncos. Gentlemen Broncos. Oh my gosh. Ashley, what are you doing? Like, it's very clear based on your number 10 and your 9. I don't like weird movies. I don't like weird things like Gentlemen Broncos.
So then you don't like Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre then?
Napoleon Dynamite, it wasn't my thing when I was younger. I don't really like stupid crap like that. It's just too stupid.
Hilarious.
Well, yeah, you know what? Everybody's got, like, when it comes to sense of humor, I'm very I don't know. I'm pretty tough critic.
Let's hear it.
Well, all I wrote as far as the notes go is, I did write this. That damn slushing sound as he gives her a hand massage. And I wrote, what the fuck? Like, so awkward. Just so awkward. I like the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes of this movie until we get into his first book or story or novel or whatever. And I was like, no, this movie is not for me. Like, I could tell right away. I was just wanting to get through it. 1 star because of I don't know why, but 1 star. It's I'll give it 1 star. It's for the slushing hand massage. There you go.
It's not the sewing the nads back on.
No, we're not going to talk about that. No.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah,
you're terrible.
Not a good movie. And was this the one? Well, I guess I can't have you tell me, but I know you said there's one on here. So when I was telling you I was going to be watching a couple movies with my dad, and there was 1 or 2 on your list that I had asked him if he has ever seen. And you were like, watch Gentlemen Broncos with your dad. And I was like, absolutely not. That is not going to happen.
But
yeah, so
it's not offensive. It's just weird.
No, it's not offensive. It's just weird. And look, if it was offensive, maybe I would enjoy it even more. I like offensive. My dad does too. The more offensive, the better, in my opinion. But so yeah, you could put as many offensive movies as you want for me. That'll probably work a lot better than the silly, weird things. But this one is a no for me, a hard pass. What did you think of it, Ashley?
What do I think?
Yes.
Well, I like it.
I see you.
I don't think
you changed your name.
I don't think it's his best movie that he's done because I prefer Napoleon Dynamite. But I know that no one has seen this damn movie, so I was just like, I need more people to see how weird this is. And everybody talks about Sam Rockwell, and I'm like, this is like his weirdest role. So please watch it. But I don't know, because this came out during a time when I was like super into indie movies. And I mean, I don't think it's like fantastic. I just think it's extremely unique, and you don't really get movies like that anymore. So that's why I like it.
I feel like there's not a similarity because it's not a spoof movie necessarily at all, but like Jeff recommended Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. This is one of those, like, it's along that stupid, very silly, ridiculous humor, and that just worked for me. I think I'm a cranky old man, and I don't like funny movies, I guess, or anything that isn't I don't like so, like Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Seriously, it's like my doppelganger.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I love Clint Eastwood. Get off my lawn. Joe says, I'm glad I've never heard of it. Holland Oates said, I haven't seen it. It looks good. Of course he would. Anything that I like, he doesn't like. Anything that he likes, I usually don't like. Nicholas says, Ashley says blueberries already, Bob. Safe word. I vaguely remember this movie. Did you like it, Mizzy? Basement Blue says Napoleon Dynamite was hilarious. My kind of humor. Interesting.
I think it's hilarious.
Napoleon is funny. Gosh. Oh, man. I wasn't a fan of Napoleon Dynamite either, Fish says. Thank you, somebody. What's up, Dawn of the Dead's in the chat. Dawn of the Dead 84. What's up? Send the silly, weird movies my way instead, Ashley.
I'll take note of that.
Yes, and send Chacha real smooth my way. Magic Hand says, "What's up, everyone? Enter the fist." Oh my gosh, blueberries. There's the same thing. All right.
Um,
I don't have a whole lot to say about your 9 or 10 or 9 because number
okay,
9 doesn't get any better either.
that's fine.
I think number 9 is gonna piss you off though, because I really think you liked it. But you want to go into number 9, or did you have anything else
No,
you
that's
wanted to
fine.
say about Gentlemen Broncos? Are you
Go
ready to
for
throw
it.
punch me yet? Not quite. Not with that one, huh? No throat.
No, I
Throat.
don't care.
Okay, Gentlemen Broncos not worth a throat punch. Here we go. Number 9, Under the Silver Lake. Number 9. What the hell, Ashley? Like number 10 and then 9, like very weird shit you recommended to me.
It's not that weird though.
It's very hard to understand in my opinion, and quite out there. And I don't know if Tony liked this, but based on the couple of movies like American Honey, and there's another movie. Is there any penis in this movie? There's a lot of
No,
nudity. There's a lot of ass.
there's butts and
There's
boobs.
butts and boobs. Okay. All right. Well, if there was a lot of flapping penis like there was in American Honey, I feel like Tony might enjoy it because he loved American Honey, and there was a lot of flapping cocks in that one.
Oh my god, you're gross.
But I did not like Under the Silver Lake either. I'm giving this 1 star as well. I wrote, huh? I wrote no exclamation point, and I didn't mind the first 15 to 20 minutes. I was honestly intrigued by the first bit of the movie, but I quickly lost interest. But I found it to be intriguing, and I didn't mind. The nudity didn't bother me. It didn't, like, I didn't sit out to seek this movie because I enjoyed the nudity either. It just I mean, if you're a fan, you get to see Andrew Garfield's ass. I think that's his real ass. I don't know if it's body double. Maybe you would know more than I would. I don't know.
I don't have a crush on
No.
that man, so I don't know.
Well, I wasn't sure. He's not Jake Gyllenhaal.
No.
I like Andrew Garfield though, but it's a really weird movie, and I feel like Tony's probably going to text me any minute and be like, "Bob, you crossed the line, blueberries."
Blueberries.
Let's see here. Oh, he's just saying hi to people. I couldn't get into Under the Silver Lake either. He's like you though. I think he gave it 3 stars. So even though he didn't like it, he still gave it 3 stars. Mission Media says Under the Silver Lake is incredible. A24 is very hit or miss for me, and I haven't seen Under the Silver Lake yet, but it's on my watch list. I love Andrew and Riley. So big fan of this one. I assume you liked all 10 movies you recommended to me. Otherwise you wouldn't have recommended them, of course.
Yes.
But what did you think about this one? Thoughts on it?
I personally love it.
I
I think it is very strange, especially if you're not into conspiracy theories. And that's what this entire movie is about, is like conspiracy theories within Hollywood. And if you're not into that or recognize things, you're not gonna like understand it as much. And it is a very odd movie. I will not disagree with that. Especially the owl lady. She was pretty creepy.
probably makes sense why I wasn't into it, or I missed a lot of things then.
Yeah, because like the
And
first
feel
time I
now,
had watched
too, like,
it,
mentally I was gone. So do you ever watch a movie where, and I know you said you'll shut a movie off, and I apologize for interrupting, but
No,
you
you're
said
fine.
you'll shut a movie off. Do you ever like finish a movie, but you mentally check out of it? You'll still pay attention, but you're like mentally just checked out. You're like, I don't like
No.
this. No,
I
you'll
turn
shut it
shit
off.
off. I don't care.
You'll just shut it off.
That's what I did with Elvis. So no. Um, but in growing up in Southern California and watching it, I was like, holy shit, they actually filmed this whole movie in LA. So I can appreciate it even more, because I was like, wow, you didn't try to justify Canada as California. I always appreciate that. And I don't know, I just really liked I like it because I've dug deep on conspiracy theories. And this movie hits all that shit on the head. It's just like, oh, okay, I get it. And there are underground tunnels in LA. that people do weird shit in. So yeah.
I feel like this movie would be divided, but on my
Mhm.
letterbox, I think most people, like you had mentioned even before the stream, you were like, I'm okay if you hate all these movies because everyone's going to disagree with you because most people like these movies. Your list is very, appreciated. Majority of the movies most people have seen and enjoyed. So, yeah, if I hate all the movies on your list, people will not agree with me.
Well,
But
this one I
usually
can
people don't.
see being divisive.
So the number 9 and 10 so far, you're like, okay, I get it. Why he wouldn't like them.
Oh, for sure. But I also feel like you needed to
Okay, at
experience
least
them.
and I did experience them, and I experienced them once, and that's good. And I will not experience them again. I have actually never experienced Black Phone though. I see your shirt.
Really? You didn't?
No, I've never seen Black Phone, but I have it.
God damn it, Bob.
I just haven't seen it. I know. Shame.
Terrible.
So yeah, that's number 10 and 9. Both won so far. Not good, Ashley. Not good at all.
My feelings are still not hurt.
Napoleon Dynamite is a 5 out of 5 for me, Allie says. Ashley probably likes all the movies she recommended to you, Bobbert. Tony, I've been interested in Under the Silver Lake. I got to watch it. I love this one. And if we do want to dive into spoilers, which we haven't done yet, which we probably will plenty later on, just let me know or I'll be sure to put it up. A24 is very hit or miss for me. A24 is 95% hits, Holland Oates says. Bob, were you driving? No, I was not driving. Don't start that Tony crap again, Holland. Holy Oats, was that a typo? 95% miss for me. Oh, wow, okay. When it comes to A24. And I loved Black Phone. Ethan Hawke as a serial killer is my perfect content.
Same.
I do like Ethan Hawke, so
Or
no
not
typo. All right, number 8. Do you want to dive into it? Anything else you wanted to say about Under the Silver Lake? Under the Shitty Lake?
Nope.
All right, number 8.
Terrible.
So keep in mind, for me, like Tony was different. He gave something 3.5 stars. It was number 9, and then his like number 2 on my list might have been a 2.5 stars. For me, like if it gets 3, it all goes up from there. I don't go 3, 2, 1 or anything like that. It just stays. So here we go. Number 8. Where the hell is it? I gotta find it based on the order I watched it. Here we go. Number 8. We have got Wild America. Let me start off by saying this is the first movie on your list I'm going to give 3 stars to, so it all goes up from here. I like, which is usually if your number 8 is getting 3 stars, that's usually a pretty damn good sign from me. So
that's good.
Okay, what to say about Wild America? I don't have any brothers. I do have 2 sisters, and I'm the youngest, so Marshall's character is a little bit relatable to me. I actually always wanted to tag along with my middle-aged sister, mainly because I thought her friends were hot. And I just thought it was cool to hang out with older kids. So, like, him wanting to hang out with his brothers, I totally get, because that was me as a kid, like, wanting to be with the, like, older kids, the older adults, and all that stuff. Granted, like I said, her friends were hot. So, killer soundtrack. I did like the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack was really good. I write down quotes that are funny to me or stand out. So I wrote down, "It's no big deal, Mom. He just fell off a mountain."
Yes.
When he's on the phone with
fine.
He's like, "No big deal, Mom. He just fell off a mountain." She's like, "What?" It had a few laughs and it has its charm, but I'm sure this movie would have been a lot more enjoyable and nostalgic if I'd seen it as a kid. But still above average, not bad, pretty good, but not great. But once again, if I watched this as a kid, I think it's probably a lot more nostalgia there.
Yeah, it would have been for sure.
Yeah. I know Brian Goes Blue is a fan of this one. I think he gave it 4 stars, so he liked this one. Fun enough, little family adventure, I wrote. Very interesting editing choice with the father's accident. That was just strange to me. Ridiculously quick cut there. Shows the dad lose control, and so on and so forth. I should be putting up spoilers if I dive into it. I wrote down a quote here. Everyone has dreams, but life has a way of making us forget what they are. I wrote, super true. Life throws a lot of obstacles at you. As Rocky said, life will beat you to the ground, keep you there if you let it. So me, you, or nobody's going to hit it as hard as life does. So I really like that quote because I thought it's true. Like, life sometimes just has a way of making you forget your dreams, unfortunately. So I like that quote. It stood out to me. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was a good child actor. Surprised he didn't go on to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And maybe a tad bit on the longer side. Could have been 15 to 20 minutes shorter, but I still enjoyed it enough. That's everything I wrote.
Okay.
Thoughts?
That's a pretty good thing.
Thoughts?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
I grew up with this movie, so
I figured.
I have the nostalgia for it, and it was one of the many movies that my crush for Devon Sawa came about. So I was all about that.
That is another thing you and Fish agree on, because Fish loves Devon Sawa.
He's good.
I like Devon Sawa.
I just really like how wholesome the movie is. And when you were talking about how it cut from the dad's accident super quick, I felt like that was kind of like a because it's a kids movie, and Disney is so good at like, oh, let's just ruin everything and like let's kill the parents within 10 minutes of every movie. That I felt like it was just like, okay, we're not going to show it, but you know that he got in an accident because it doesn't want to like traumatize the children that are watching it. Do you know what I mean? It is silly though. But and dude, I hadn't watched this since I was a kid. When they were in the I mean, I guess if you want to put spoilers, I don't know if this would be, but
I'll put it just in case. So, like, minor spoilers here, if you haven't seen it. If I could find out where the hell the spoilers thing is. Okay, there it is. Hold on. Actually, no. There it is. Sorry.
So the one part when he got on top of the moose and then they got into the river, and then his brother's just like, oh, screw you, and he's just like filming it. I'm like, what a piece of shit. Like, he has a terrible older brother. And then I totally forgot that freaking Danny Glover was in this movie. And then he's just like Mr. Mountain Man. I'm like, get out of here. Danny Glover.
It's not the one he wears Speedo, and I don't know what movie he wears a Speedo.
No.
But,
I'm glad he didn't wear one.
I thought that was pretty funny, obviously, but yeah, he's not a really great older brother. He really isn't.
No, he's terrible.
He treats him like, I get the like younger sibling. There's always that like, oh, the older sibling, you know, the middle child gets forgotten, the youngest is spoiled the most, and there's always that argument and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, his brother was not like, did not look out for him. He wasn't nice at all to him.
No, his middle brother was the one that was trying to take care of him.
Yeah.
Trying to get him out of the damn river.
Yeah, exactly. Devon Sawa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like Devon Sawa back when Final Destination and the earlier stuff too, like Idle Hands. Good stuff.
Casper. That's where it started. That and Little Giants.
I can't even remember. I know I saw Little Giants as a kid, probably 5 or 6 or earlier than that. But yeah, I like this one. I mean, I gave it 3 stars. Like I said, a little bit, probably would have enjoyed it even more if there was that nostalgia for it. But you know, it's not going to break ground. But this movie, it's fun. It's not really boring. It's maybe a little bit long, but and it's slightly dated. But it's not a lot of CGI. A lot of it is like animatronics or whatever, right? Or
it's
so,
the things that they use at like theme parks.
yeah, so it's a little different. I didn't mind it though. 3 stars, so not bad. Well, let me catch up with the chat. There, go ahead.
See, I wanted to give you at least one wholesome movie because the other ones are not. Well, maybe one more, but I don't think anything else is.
I'm looking at it, but that's right. That's a good way of looking at it, because I usually don't like wholesome movies. I usually like emotional or dark, like super depressing. I want a lot of people to die when I watch movies, and that usually means I like it. If there's not people dying, it probably means I didn't like it. Remember this when I was younger, Devon Sawa and JTT. We've got Johnny saying never saw Wild America, but then again, I was never a fan of JTT. Okay. No Home Improvement for Johnny. I remember Home Improvement. That was Tim Allen, wasn't it?
Yes,
I thought so. My Killer Podcast. What's up, Mel? She says, Ayo, what's up, everyone? She's just saying hi to everyone. We got Helen saying, what's up, Mel? Johnny says, to be honest, Miz, I hated the shit that ABC put out on the air. Yeah, Mizzy saying? Mel, Movie Warehouse says Jonathan Taylor Thomas quit acting and went on to an Ivy League college. I believe that's why he didn't do much. Interesting. Joe, love Devon Sawa and Robin of Locksley. I've never seen that. Never even heard of it. Smirk says, hey, what's up, movie people? What's up, Smirk? All the Sawa fans need to see The Fanatic, directed by Fred Durst. Tony loves it. 5 stars and a heart. I got that. Smirk, okay, so Full House, Boy Meets World are out. I like Full House and Boy Meets World. Seventh Heaven was good. Oh God, The Fanatic. LOL. Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's Legend Princey. What's up, Prince? Jane Doe. I like it too, Johnny and Crown. Hi, Jane Doe. We've got Smirk saying hi. A lot of people saying hi. Basement Blue says 2 stars and a heart. Flip that 2 around. It's a 5. That's true. And Casper, don't forget it. Sour and Casper. Yep. I'll admit I cried when I saw Casper and Devin appeared as a real boy. Basement Blues just saying, I will be good, Prince, if I go the whole night not being called Grandpa. I promise I won't, Uncle. Prince call him Grandpa. You called me Grandpa before we went live.
Because you were the one that was late.
That is true. Like, calling me Grandpa is accurate, though, for sure. It's not the first time I've called Grandpa. My mom called me Grandpa like 2 weeks ago when I got up off the couch and I was like, ow, my hip. And she's like, okay, Grandpa. And I was like, no, seriously, I got a bad hip. And she's like, wow, how old are you?
You deserved it. It's fine.
Probably. What is number 7? I'm looking for it. Okay, I got it. This one might bother you, but keep in mind, I'm not into spirits and stuff like that. So
I knew it.
So it's not really my cup of tea, but it is The Frighteners. And I gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
And I would give it a heart if I gave hearts. I wrote, damn, I miss Michael J. Fox acting in movies. He was just such, like, you know how Johnson being likable. Michael J. Fox was so likable. Every character he played, you just enjoyed his character. He radiated off the screen. He was likable in everything, from Back to the Future to this to everything. It was just really unfortunate what happened to him. Yeah. And I do miss his acting a ton. And I thought he was a pretty good actor. Not saying he was ever going to win an award, but I really likable to watch on the screen. So I do miss him. I wrote, Frank can't drive for shit.
Good old Frank.
I wrote, I'm not into ghost movies. I don't like spirit or ghost or paranormal type of movies of any kind normally. Every once in a while I watch some that I enjoy, but I like this one about as much as I expected, maybe even more. I had enough fun with it. I really enjoyed 5 minutes or so. The middle half began to drag a little bit for me, but seriously, like the first 50 minutes, I loved, actually. Probably like a 4-star movie for me. I was super into the first like 45, 50 minutes of this movie. I liked his friends a lot, and I think that's why I really enjoyed the movie. I liked the chemistry and all that stuff. I enjoyed those characters. The story comes together very well, but damn, it took a while to get there for me. I watched a 2-hour cut, though, so maybe I had an extended version of it. It says it's 1 hour, 50 minutes, so for me, it started to feel its runtime as the movie went on. Ending dragged a bit for me. And I wrote, but like I said, I enjoyed it, but not my cup of tea. So the fact that I enjoyed this one at all is a plus. It's just not my style, but it's charming, fun, and I had a few chuckles with it. Good movie. I can see the love for it, but like I said, not for me. But at 3 stars on a movie like this is saying a lot, because usually something like this I would usually hate. But I enjoyed it because it's fun. And like I said, I really enjoyed the characters and his friends in it, but it gets a little too much into the ghost stuff as the movie goes on.
That was the whole point, Bob.
No, I know, but and I'm sure the comment section right now is ripping me a new asshole for this. But like I said, I liked it, and if anybody knows who I am, knows that these are not for me. So the fact that this isn't my number 10 says a lot, or the fact that I didn't give it below a 2 or something is very successful.
Do you want to know why it's a long movie too?
Go ahead.
It's because Peter Jackson did it, and he did Lord of the Rings, and this was Michael J. Fox's last movie that he did for a while or something like that. And I personally, this was the first movie that I had seen of Peter Jackson's, because what was I, like 7 when this movie came out?
Was it scary at that age? No.
Did it scare me?
At that age, like 7? No, right?
Shit,
Yeah.
no. I was watching horror movies forever,
Who
but
knows?
because it had Michael J. Fox, I was like, oh, I love him. So I grew up with this movie, and I was like, I know that you don't like ghost movies, but this is such a different paranormal ghost movie that it's hard not to like it because Michael J. Fox, and then everybody else in it too, like
Yeah.
his ghost buddies, like the dude from the 70s, and then you got the guy from the 50s, probably. I love those guys.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about it, surprisingly. And you mentioned Peter Jackson. The only other movie of Peter Jackson's I've seen is the one that Jeff recommended, which I don't even remember what it's called off the top of my head now. It was
What was it about?
John Doe Juggalo, if he's in the chat. He filmed it like over the course of one weekend. Why am I not? I remember all 100 movies that have been recommended to me, and I can't remember this off the top of my head. Somebody in the damn chat help me out here. Jeff, what was it? It was somebody. Jeff, please, quick. I always get anxious waiting for somebody in the chat to chime in. It was,
Well,
I don't remember, but it's basically like a lot of practical effects. It's coming to me. Bad Taste. Bad Taste. It was
oh,
Bad Taste. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
I haven't seen
Thank
that
you.
in a long time, so
Yeah, it was Bad Taste.
I
didn't
can't
like
remember.
it. I gave that 2 stars. So this was only the second movie of his that I've ever seen.
Well, did you know that he's actually in this movie too? You know, when
Peter
Michael
Jackson?
J. Fox, yeah, when he's going into the newspaper and he runs into that guy and he has like piercings in his nose and he's just looks like a kind
Oh,
of like
really?
a metal guy. That's Peter Jackson.
Well,
And
interesting.
another
know
fun
that.
fact, him and his wife wrote this one too. So, and
Is
they
he
did
still
Lord of the
together?
Rings together. Yeah,
Is he still together with his wife to this day?
yeah,
A successful marriage. Nice.
indeed. This was actually
Nicely
supposed to be
done.
a Tales from the Crypt
When-
episode. Did you know that?
When's the last time he directed a movie? I've never seen Tales from the Crypt.
Peter Jackson? He just
Yeah.
I can't remember, but he did that King
This-
Kong movie too.
Oh yeah, 2000 whatever that was, 2004. That's got Naomi Watts. Of course, I've seen that.
2005. It's 5.
Oh, I have seen that. So I've seen 3 of his movies. I'm sorry. I've seen King Kong. Yeah, got to rewatch The Frighteners. Mizzy says, "Oh, I thought it was going to be Marrowbone 2, the way the this one went." No, it's not Marrowbone 2. I love The Frighteners. I feel like Nicholas is going to make Marrowbone 2 one day. Anthony says The Frighteners is fucking awesome. Jeffrey Combs is so damn great in this film. I'm not the biggest Jeffrey fan. He's hit or miss for me. It depends.
You didn't like his territorial bubble thing? He's so weird.
I did like Reanimator. He's very weird in this. Frighteners is a classic, Bob. I know it's a classic. I didn't trash the movie. Hey, Anthony, watch the language. Holland Oates says. Mizzy's laughing. Too much into the ghost stuff. Nothing but wrestling. 2 other fun Michael J. movies that I think are underrated are Doc Hollywood and The Hard Way. The Hard Way is the one with the cop, the buddy cop movie, right? Keenan Lord put it out. I haven't seen Doc Hollywood, but I do want to see that one. What's up, Holland? Anthony. And I like The Hard Way. It was decent. That's the guy from Vampires. Why am I never remember people's names. That was in that. Thank you for the Bad Taste. You can always count on Nikki. Thank you. Jeff says Bad Taste is so good. You watched that one, Bob. He was the main character. Okay, yes. Bob didn't see King Kong with his ex Naomi Watts. Jackson directed that. I did see that. X. He says X. Yes, that makes sense. Peter Jackson just did a Beatles movie. I will let nice. I will let's get a Kickstarter going, Tony. Hi, maybe Huck will edit it for us just for you, Bob. I don't want anything to do with Marrowbone 2. Combs is a dick is the hotel manager, and I know he's a guy, and I still know what you did last summer, but he's also in Reanimator, of course, and a bunch of other stuff. All right. Anything else you wanted to say about Frighteners? Because I knew the chat would come after me for this one for not giving it 16 stars out of 5.
But nobody was really that mad. They just said it was a classic.
It is a classic.
But okay. No, I'm good. I just really like this movie, so you're welcome.
All right. Like I said, 3 stars. So let's see if we're going to get into some 3.5s at any point. Here we go. We're going to start with this one. This is going to get 3.5. Keep in mind, if I gave something 3.5, it means I really liked it. Okay. So for some people, 3.5 is like not that high. For me, 3.5, that's a good rating. 3.5 stars. Love Lies Bleeding. This is number 6. I really need to pick up that A24 set if it's not already out of print. I don't know if it's sold out. I saw yours and everybody else's. It's a beautiful set. Where is it? It's the first one I watched. I think I already spoiled this, but first thing I wrote down was the jaw hanging.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was amazing. Amazing. Incredible. Yo, this movie,
Oh,
you can hear, I wrote, my jaw dropped like his did during that scene. So brutal. I loved it. But you could hear the like crunching. I feel like if I
yes.
remember correctly, it's very in your face, like in your ears, loud,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe we
Yes.
should put spoilers for this one just because
Okay.
it's new.
Yeah, that's
You know
a
what I
good
mean?
point. Let me get banners started up here. Well, I wasn't going to dive into spoilers just yet, but maybe I will because
Well,
usually I just start reading and then I'm like, oh shit, that's a spoiler.
yeah.
So good idea. Makeup design was remarkable. We are in spoilers if you didn't already see the banner up. Jenna Malone's character in the hospital. Wow. Oof, that was
Right.
brutal. I did not
Her
see that coming.
face.
Holy cow.
Shit.
Like I said, the makeup was so good in this. The makeup and design was just so good. Like this should,
Mhm.
it probably won't, but it should probably, in my opinion. I don't know. I haven't seen it, everything else that's going to come out later on, but the makeup could easily get, and I'm not big into the Oscars, but I think this could get nominated for like best makeup and all that stuff. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty wickedly awesome. Um, how about him just getting pissed and eating the bug?
Wasn't that just so bizarre? There's so many bizarre moments in this movie. You're just like, what in the
Yeah.
hell?
How about this? I literally wrote, I had so many oh my gosh and what the fuck moments. So literally, that's my next thing I wrote. Every punch or pistol swipe or head bashing is so damn loud and it sounds like bones breaking or brains being bashed in. I loved it.
It was so good. I loved it.
What the fuck was up with that ending I wrote?
Okay. So before I watched the movie, I watched a few people's reviews of people that I usually agree with. So I was like, okay, let me see if I really will like this movie. And they're just like, I don't know what the hell that ending was. So I was like, oh, when I watched it, there was these 3 guys behind me, and these dudes, they were laughing because I was laughing. Pretty much everybody else was laughing, and we all just, what the fuck? Like, what? But then when I sat there and I thought about it, I was just like, okay, I get it now. I totally understand the ending. It's
So
bizarre.
you told me before I watched this, before you even gave me a watch list, you had said you need to see Love Lies Bleeding and just watch the last 10 minutes, especially. What did you take from it? Because I still don't quite like fathom why she became a giant. And then I'm so glad it didn't ruin it for me though. It didn't ruin it. This
No,
movie's like tiptoes though the 4 stars for me. I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
I bet you if you rewatch it, you'll probably like it more because it is. When I
Understanding some
rewatched it,
people.
I was just like, oh shit, this is a good movie.
What-
But the ending to me was so when she gets all big and giant, it's kind of like she's finally because if you're watching the movie closer, since Kristen Stewart injected her with the freaking steroids,
Mhm.
it like gets close to her muscles and you see them like getting big and all this shit. And then when she becomes this big person, or like the Hulk, basically, it's like she's strong enough to like help her leave her shitty family. You see what I'm saying?
I think I wrote down Roid Rage.
That too. I put that in my initial review.
Yeah.
Because it is, but
Yeah. And as somebody who's like worked out and gone to the gym and personal training and everything, like I can relate to her character a little bit in the movie. Like I appreciate that aspect of it. And I've never taken steroids or anything like that, but I'm not a big guy. I've literally had people say the opposite to me. He's like, oh, you're a personal trainer and you're that small. It's like, well, not everyone has the same goals. Sorry. But not everyone wants to look like that.
yeah.
But yeah, okay, so that makes sense though. See, I appreciate movies like that, and I know even Mizey, he was like, what was up with that ending too? And so we were kind of chatting about it, and he's like, yeah, man. I was like, well, let's just wait for Ashley's answer.
Well, and
I was
then
like,
you know how they like run away and and they're in the
mm-hmm,
clouds and all that shit. It's kind of like
mm-hmm.
they're free from all the bullshit and they can just go live their lives. And that's basically kind of what they were
Yeah,
doing at the end.
yeah. I did like it.
Damn it.
I wrote this was my face during the last 6 minutes though.
It is.
Like,
I was laughing. So I was like,
um,
damn,
I wrote, if you think you have a dysfunctional family, just watch this movie.
for sure.
Let's see. Honestly, better than I thought. I didn't expect to like this one very much. Pleasantly surprised. Excellent performances from Ed Harris is always great. Kristen Stewart is a force, deserves more credit. And who's Kathy O'Brien? She was excellent. I wrote because
Dude, like,
who she
where did
was.
she come from?
Yeah, she's really good. And then that ending almost ruined it for me, but I don't know. Pretty crazy movie. So it
Yeah.
honestly was like a 4 stars for me, and I was surprised because I didn't know what to make of this movie going in. Did you want to touch on any more spoilers? Or did you want me to take that off the screen?
Oh, I'll do one more.
Go
Just
ahead.
one of the scenes was probably my favorite. Even when I was rewatching it, I was like, oh shit. Is when Katie O'Brien's character is told to like go kill the druggy chick, and Kristen Stewart is walking up into their apartment with her, and then when she's saying something and she had just thrown up or whatever, and then she's like, oh god, whatever, and then opens the door, and then you just see the brain and blood basically just on her face, and then she like tries to shoot her, and then the gun jams, and then
She runs off.
Kristen Stewart's just like,
What?
what?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that shit.
That chick is really crazy in that movie. The druggie. She was quite obsessed with her.
Yes,
From
she
what I remember.
was. It was wild.
But that scene is great because she just stands in the door like, what just happened? Kind of like my face in the last 6 minutes of the movie. That was,
Yes,
I was like, what just happened?
I love
Yeah.
it.
All right. I'm gonna take spoilers off, but if you wanted to keep talking about it, if you had anything else you wanted to say, unless you were done.
Um, no, I think I'm good.
Okay. I'm gonna catch up with the chat here, as I always try to do. I want to have a conversation and catch up with the chat on it. I love Jeffrey Combs as the asshole hotel manager. Yeah, he's pretty funny. And if I still know what she did last summer. I enjoyed Love Lies Bleeding. Oh, me too, Anthony. Sup, y'all? Sorry I'm late. Work is being work today. What's up, Adam? Tony says me too. Hey, Doctor Adam. Why do they call him Doctor? I don't even know that. Nice. Got to pick up myself, Tony. Hey, Adam. What's up, Doctor? Everybody calls him Doctor. Maybe he has his doctorate's degree. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with her, Mizzy says. No, me
No.
either. Okay. Let's see. So that was number 6. You ready to get into number 5?
Yep.
They start to get like more and more notes as it goes on. I've noticed that every time. Like I start with 1 note and then I start with 50 by the end of it. All right.
Okay.
Number 5. I really liked number 5 as well. I gave it a very high 3.5 stars. We've got the one that nobody in the chat knows about. It is called The Night Eats the World. It is a zombie movie, but it is a zombie movie unlike anything you've ever seen before. It is very different, and I really appreciated it. I gave it, like I said, a very high 3.5. This one teetered with the 4 stars for me as well. So like all these movies like Love Lies Bleeding, The Night Eats the World, and even the next one, all like on that range of 4 stars. So I wrote smart character. I know you hate when characters, especially adults, make stupid decisions. So I was writing as I went on with this movie. So keep in mind if I might have gone back on something. But I wrote, so far, I feel like his character is making a ton of smart decisions. So I was like, Ashley probably enjoyed his character not being a dumbass. Because he was really smart. In the beginning, he was really smart. I do need to definitely put a spoiler up at some point. I mean, most people probably haven't seen this. Let me see if the comment section here. It's from Spies Like Us. Never heard of this. Call me interested. You should check it out. I've heard of that. It traumatized me by the trailer. I've never seen the trailer. Keep in mind, when these movies get recommended to me, I don't even read a plot. I just turn it on. I don't want to know anything about it. I go in as blind as possible. I don't even want to know if you like the movie. I just want to put it on. I'm going to dive into spoilers. It's minor spoilers, but I do want to put it on the screen. In this movie, like, I don't want to talk about it without spoiling it, and I don't want to ruin it for somebody, because I really would recommend checking this movie out because it's different and it's unlike any other zombie movie you've ever seen. So I'm going to dive into spoilers if you're watching. Okay. He risked his damn life for that cat. Almost ended up getting himself killed. I probably would have too. So, I mean, he was alone too. He needed, like, the
Yeah,
cat.
you needed.
It's kind of unlike anything I've ever seen before. I wrote, honestly, I really don't know what to make of this movie. I wrote down. I do like single set films, and I also like when it's all about one character. Very little dialogue, like very little. There was, at first, there was like no dialogue in this movie for a while. It's just built to nothing. That kind of bummed me out. That's what like took it from a 4, because this was every bit of a 4 for me, and it just built to nothing. It just ended, and that was a disappointment, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, I'm sure. But I really did love the first half, and I never lost interest at all. But it does lose steam as it goes. But like I said, I was at no point like, I need to go on my phone, or I'm just bored of this. I was totally into it. It's a pretty sad movie. I would lose my mind too. So I really appreciated that they show you, like, totally, like I said, different. It's a movie like anything you've ever seen before, because this is a character, and I use my hands a lot, as you can see, but it's a character that we never get to experience what it's like to be in a zombie apocalypse, a character's head being all alone. And this movie gives you exactly that. So I appreciate it. And I could see if I rewatch this, it could be a 4 stars as well. Pretty sad movie. I like Sam. I thought he was pretty good. Good. I cared for his character, I wrote. Also not a fan of things that, okay, here's this one.
Okay.
Have you seen Fall?
Fall. Who's in that again?
It's the 2 that get stuck on the tower.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen Fall. Did you see 47 Meters Down?
No.
The shark movie?
I know what it is, but I haven't watched it.
Shit. Well, anyway, so Fall.
You can spoil it. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Well, you know how in Fall they're on the watchtower or whatever it's called, and they're like, she's dead. She dies, and they make you think that she's still alive. I fucking hate movies like that. I can't stand that shit. I think it's stupid. I think it's a cop-out, and I think it's so flawed. Whenever they do that, I could find 50 different flaws in your writing, because it doesn't make sense. Like, there's so many flaws that go with that logic. I can't stand that shit. So when she comes into the movie, okay, and she's not real, I think it's bullshit, I wrote, but it didn't bother me nearly as much as it does movies. I also think I read something online beforehand, and I was prepared for it. But I really liked that actress. I thought she was good too. And it broke my heart that she wasn't really alive. Oh, and I totally didn't expect this. I went into it thinking I was getting a violent zombie film. Another rewatch years from now could benefit me. I think having an entirely different expectations of a film can hurt. I'm going in thinking one thing, and it's nothing like it. That was refreshing in a way, though, I wrote. Also, I found not making hardly any noises so interesting. Like I said, a zombie film unlike anything I've seen before, but I felt like at the end of the day, it really never left the ground. It left some meat on the bone.
It's
and then
it's great.
and then I wrote, you feel the main character's loneliness, well executed, and I wrote another also great score. I really like the score. So that's everything I wrote, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. We got 24 comments in the chat too to catch up on eventually, but please, I'm going to keep the spoilers on the screen, so talk spoilers all you want.
I personally, because obviously I like zombie movies, it's very obvious, but to me, this is one of the most unique ones I have ever seen, because I absolutely love, obviously, they don't make a sound. Like, even when they're really running, it kind of just sounds like normal, like, foot pattern. It doesn't really sound like a horde's coming at you.
And just breathing, kind of like
heavy. And then I think really the only noises they make is like when they chomp their jaws together a little bit. And you're just like, oh, you son of a bitch. And I really like calm movies too. And this movie is like so still, but yet keeps you on the edge, because you're just like, what is happening?
It never like the grip it had on me from the first 2 minutes of the movie. it never loses it, even though it's a slow-paced movie. And this is about as a slow burn as it gets. That's why when people are
Yes.
like, Bob doesn't like slow movies, he can't handle slow burns. It's like bullshit. I actually do like slow burns if it's good and well written and keeps me invested. Some are just boring. This movie's not boring though. And I found him being smart, going and writing down the foods and all this stuff. Like, we don't see that. I like the attention to detail this movie gives.
Yes, I can fully appreciate very detail-oriented people because I am one. But yeah, like, and I also really liked how they showed like his humanity when he started smelling the people beneath him and was like, "Oh God," and then he was just gonna toss them, and he couldn't do it, so he kind of gave them their own little, you know, I guess tomb, I guess is what you'd call it. And I don't know, this movie just like the moment I saw it back in 2018 or 2019, one of the two, whenever the hell it came out, it just stuck with me. And I have never heard a soul talk about it. I'm like, dude, this movie was on Amazon forever and no one watched it.
When you said there's a movie on your list that's a difficult watch, I was expecting it to be this one and have it be like hardcore graphic violence, and that's not like it. So yeah, this is not the one. And then
no, this is not the one.
I'm so immune to like graphic movies and tough watches and like difficult content that when I watched your list, I was like, which was the one? Because I was like, hold on,
which one it was though.
I know which one it was after you told me, but I was like, I guess I'm so watching stuff like this that it didn't, it's a difficult watch, but like I was expecting next level. Like to me, Martyrs is one of the most difficult movies I've ever seen in my life. I think that's a difficult watch. You've never seen Martyrs, have you?
No, because I don't want to.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah.
Those kind of movies don't interest me.
Body horror is not your thing. I know. Trust me. I pay attention to people, so I know when recommending movies and creating a watch list for somebody, I know.
Body horror isn't bad, just different. Because I like video.
Martyrs is not something I wouldn't recommend Martyrs to anybody. Well, actually, that's a lie because I did. But only one person who I think can handle it, but I normally would never recommend Martyrs to people because it is not an easy watch. It's fucked up, but somebody got it on their watch list. So I did recommend it. I lied.
I'm sorry to whoever that was.
Yes, I am sorry too, to that person. Okay. All right. Are you done talking about spoilers, or did you want to keep talking spoilers? Because
no, I'm fine.
Yeah, all night if you want. So okay, all right. Now I can catch up with the chat. We got 26 chats in the comment. We got a super chat. Tiana sends a super chat. Look at that beautiful Ashley up there with the emojis and a heart. I hope Bob is being nice. She didn't throat punch.
He's being all right.
He's being all right. Well, Tiana, thank you for the super chat, the $27.99. I appreciate it very much. As Mizzy said last week, he's like, I expect half of that. I guess Ashley should expect half of that as well. So Cody sent a $5 super chat, and he was like, I want half of that. And then Cody was like, yes, give him the $1.49 that they take after and all that. So Tiana, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it very much. It's nice to see you here. Let's see. I gotta catch up with the chat. Usually it's a lot of highs back and forth. That's usually what you're missing out on. So Tiana's in chat saying, hey, everyone. A lot of people saying hi to back and forth to each other. Holland Oates, Prince, Johnny, Tiana, Tony have been very good. Yeah, nobody's talking about this movie. Holland, I was about to ask you what number we were on. It is number 5 that we were just talking about. I just got done with work, Tiana says. I just added Night Eats the World to my Tubi watch list. Nice. I didn't even know it was on there. I didn't watch it on Tubi. It's on Tubi, Johnny? Okay, cool. And Johnny says, Bob, saying Martyrs is a hard watch tells us everything we need to know about his level of sensitivity. Fucking baby. Okay. All right. If you haven't seen Martyrs, definitely want to check it out. I mean, it's a difficult watch. Like, whatever, Johnny. Go.
Shut up.
I mean, that says what kind of person he is. If he's like, Martyrs was nothing, it's like Sesame Street. That makes you fucked up, Johnny.
That's pretty wow.
Number 4. You ready to talk number 4?
Yep.
Okay. Number 4 is going to be really high on your list. This and number 3 go back and forth, but number 4 gets a 3.5. Number 3, I gave a 4 stars to. And I went back and forth. Let me tell you, upon a rewatch, this movie could get a 4 stars every day. I really liked this movie, and I went back and forth on giving it a 4. And I feel like it should be number 3 on your list, but I really like number 3 as well. Okay. But we've got number 4 being Whip It. And I had remember seeing this. I think it came in a green Blu-ray case a while back. Like I said, gave it a 3.5. I didn't even realize until like after the movie was over that Drew Barrymore directed this. It's her only film she's ever directed to. Yep. And she did a great job, I wrote. Really enjoyed this one. It has some cliche sports tropes, but that never ever bothers me in sports movies. Had some funny moments, great heart, and a great message. I love the cast. Kristen Wiig is amazing. I love Kristen Wiig. Bliss's character was so well developed. Great writing for her character. I thought she was well written. Mm-hmm. I really like when they develop a character really well because character development is so huge in a movie. There's not a lot to dislike with this one. Really had fun with it. Very entertaining. I'll definitely be looking to buy this on Blu-ray and rewatch it again sometime. And I'm always up for an underdog story, and I like the way this one plays out. Another good recommendation I wrote.
So, I'm honestly surprised it's not higher.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, because you know I like sports movies.
Yeah, and it's an underdog, and I mean I know it's not like a.
But you still got 3 other movies. I still got 3 other movies to go. I'll explain why this is not higher because you recommended some really good ones above this, so that's fair, right?
No, it is fair because the rest of the movies that I gave to you are top tier. But yeah, dude, this is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie.
I thought you were a fan of this one. So if this or any of the ones above this were really low, those are the ones you would have been like, yo, you're a crackhead. Like, you don't know what you're doing.
Like, I probably would have severely throat punched you then, like, without a doubt.
But they're good. So, and yes. So look at, I thought this was one of your favorites. I know you're a fan of it. And we'll see where I have it ranked on your list. But I thought it was really good. I need that green Blu-ray case of it. And I really think this movie could be a 4 stars when I rewatch it. I really liked it. And like I said, there's not a whole lot of this movie for me personally to dislike. It's a really enjoyable movie. And it's got a great cast. I really like the cast in this one. It's also got Juliette Lewis in it.
Yeah. Oh, God. I love Juliette Lewis.
She's great. From Dusk Till Dawn, so on and so forth.
Literally every actress, even the actors in this movie, are just so good. Like, this movie was just, where did it come from? Thank you.
Barrymore. Did she write it or no? Because I don't ever really pay too close attention to
that. Let me look. I don't think that she did, but and see, this was like when Ellen Page was like the shit. You know what I mean? Before she
now
did all her stuff.
Elliot Page. I was gonna mention that. Yeah, I've been wanting to put that as somebody's hall pass, but I don't want to get into transgender. I'm afraid I might really if I did that as somebody's hall pass.
Here's my thing: is it's her name? It was Ellen Page. Okay, when she came and did this, that's like saying Juno. It's just like, shut up. That's what her name was then. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
It bothers me. Well, what? Oh boy. I'm going to go political. What bothers me is that I didn't have a difficult time watching her in this, but sometimes you could, after you like separating the art from the artist, the whole thing like Jeepers Creepers or Rosemary's Baby director, if somebody does something, and I get that she didn't do any of that stuff, but like when you hear about somebody doing something, or even somebody gets on like and gives a political speech, you might not look at them the same. And you might be like, you might have loved an actor and then they do something and you're like,
yeah,
I can't watch this movie knowing that she's now a guy. Like, and so she's like in a bra and underwear in this too. And so like, I'm watching and I'm like, it's now not there. Nope. That's not like, so, interesting to watch that, but I didn't have a hard time watching this one. I liked her character. Like I said, I really liked her character in this.
Oh, this is probably her most likable character that she's ever played.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not a fan of
I figured.
Like Lady Bird. Not a fan. Um, and I saw your story today. That was like your number one. I was gonna message you and be like, "That's not
Shut your mouth. I
okay.
like
That's not
Lady Bird.
acceptable." I don't, but most people do. So I'm in the minority. Um, okay, go ahead. Keep
Well,
going.
do you know who's probably my favorite character in the whole movie, even though I really like her character like a ton?
The mom.
I
No,
no. I love
no.
Razor, the coach.
Wait.
He's
Oh, the coach.
perfect.
He's
Yeah, the
funny.
coach.
He's
I just love how he
funny. He's
just
like,
like
do my
deals
damn
with
plays.
them.
The plays work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
plays work too. They should have been playing his plays. It's a really good movie, and sometimes, like I did with Joe, when you're talking about a movie, sometimes you come to appreciate it more even talking about it. But I really feel like this could be a 4-star movie. Like I said, though, The Night Eats the World and Love Lies Bleeding, those aren't low 3.5s for me. Those are like
Yeah.
high 3.5s. Like I said, Love Lies Bleeding, I said without that ending, it might be a 4. The Night Eats the World with a better ending, it might be a 4, but that's the way it ended.
Yeah.
Whip it could easily be a 4. And honestly, it could be my number 3. And I we'll get into why number 3 is my number 3, but I don't know why number 3 is my number 3, but it fucking is.
Because you did this last minute. You shut your mouth.
No, I had
That
this.
is the reason.
I had yours last minute.
Oh,
It was me. No, my ranking was set. It's all on there. That's all on Letterboxd. No,
it's
that was
already logged.
yes. Yours was last minute.
Thanks.
Sorry, I do that a lot.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to say anything else?
No, just how much I loved Bliss's character in her development. I thought it was really good. The mother-daughter, like, so I'm big into father-son relationships in movies, and I've had, I think it was Joe or somebody, I can't remember, recommended me a movie, and they were like, I thought the mother-daughter stuff would hit you a lot harder. And I was like, they don't, because I'm not a daughter, though. I was like, I appreciate it. I was
Yeah.
like, but they don't quite work the same way. And that's not sexist saying that. I'm a guy. Like, a father-son movie means more to me than a mother-daughter movie would. But I appreciated that relationship. It's just that I couldn't relate to it necessarily. But
Well, that makes total sense.
I also hated Barbie, and that makes me somebody who hates women supposedly as well. So
Well, then I guess I hate my own sex because I don't like Barbie either. So
that's why I like you, because you don't like Barbie. No, that is we're not going to talk about that shit. But yes, the mother-daughter stuff, like, and I do think being able to relate to a movie, I talk with Mizzy about this a lot. I've had people like disagree and say you don't have to be able to relate to a movie to enjoy it. And I agree with that. You don't. However, when you can relate to a movie, like in every aspect, that character is you. You went through that in your life. I love that. I can sit there and go, I'm watching a movie almost about my life. So I appreciate stuff like that. Father-son movies about bullying, emotion, like a Cha-Cha Real Smooth, for example, Allie. But stuff like that is
leave Allie alone.
But I love a movie where you can relate to it. It just hits. And
Yeah.
certain people might be like, I couldn't relate to that. I hated that movie. And it's like, hey, I get it. So a movie about running, like a 4-minute mile, 1 mile to you, I love those movies. Most people would go, why? This movie's stupid. It's like, well, I'm a runner, so I can relate to everything in this movie.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
I can't exactly say I relate to the mother-daughter relationship in this movie because my mom was never the one that was just like, her and I are different, but
your mom and you are close, right?
Yeah, but
like your mom and
like, let's put it this way. My mom is far more feminine than I am. But she never like sat there and was just like, oh, you got to go into these beauty pageants and you got to wear this dress and all this shit. Like, I didn't deal with that. You know what I mean? But I can relate to Ellen Page's character regardless because we are like the same age. And this movie came out when I was 20. So it was like right at that perfect age of like, oh, okay, well, I just left high school and now you want to go do
18.
this.
Yeah, she was like 18, 19. She was like 18, 19. So yeah, right. Same age. Yeah. Yep.
So that's why it was just like, dude, this movie, I love it. I have the green case. I'm so excited.
And I'm jealous. If it goes missing, I didn't do it. But I really liked that, and this is a minor spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. It's not really a spoiler, but it's just a thing from the end of the movie. I like that Juliette Lewis's character didn't rat her out. It wasn't her. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't her character. I like that.
She
And
did
I
it
like
herself.
I like the way the movie ends too. I thought that was great. So
Oh, I love when the
it's a
dad puts
realistic
the
ending.
sign.
I like the
When he puts the
realistic.
sign in the yard.
Oh, the
Yes.
sound in the yard, yes, but I like the realistic ending to the climax.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that it's not as cliche as you might think, I guess, or it doesn't end the way most sports movies would end.
Yeah, this movie is just like, if you want to feel good, you put it on.
Which I usually don't want to feel good, so maybe that's why I didn't give it 4 stars as well, because it's too happy for me.
Stop being so damn depressing.
So maybe that's why I didn't like it. Maybe that's why these next 2-3 movies are as high as they are, because they're not as happy.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, I guess we're going to get into some pretty heavy shit here, but
Yeah,
okay.
a little bit. You want to dive into number 3 right after I catch up with the chat, actually?
Yeah, that works with me.
Somebody said we'll forgive Ashley for not liking Barbie. I don't know who it was.
Johnny did.
But I thought so. Bob said saying Martyrs is a hard one. Okay, yeah, I've already read that. Stick 'em, Johnny. Sick 'em, Johnny. Martyrs is basically children programming in my household. Wow. Martyrs is a great film, one of my favorites. Whip It, so good. Now you know what kind of person Johnny is. I feel bad for April. Oh, Whip It is amazing. Ben, I now know why April's always falling, Johnny. Ben eyeballing Whip It, definitely got to check it out. You got Fish, you got a Fish. Sean Cross wrote Whip It. I figured Tiana would like that. It should be 5 stars. Tiana says, well, it's 5 stars on Ashley's list. So Ellen Page is so good in Hard Candy. Have you ever seen Hard Candy?
Oh yeah,
that's an interesting.
That's a fantastic movie.
Yes, Joe, Hard Candy was really good. We'll forgive Ashley for not liking Barbie. She's already forgiven in my eyes. Oh God, more depressing movies. Well, you knew that. We got through the happy on her list. Now we're gonna
one isn't.
One's not. One's that's the one we're gonna talk about right here. Number 3 is Before Sunset. That's
I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
Really?
Because the way you are, Mr. Romance over here. So
that's hilarious. Rizzy says the same shit. He's like, I think it was Mizzy. No, it was Adam messaged me one day. He's like, what the fuck, bro? When are you gonna stop posting all these romantic movies?
Stop being a girl, okay?
Look, I like romantic movies. I'm helpless romantic at heart. I can't help it. I'm still very much a man, but I do like.
I'm shit.
I do enjoy romantic movies, and Before Sunset is so well made. It's my favorite of the 3. You put it on there. You said you got to watch all 3 then, because I'm going to put the second one on there, which was perfect. Which Joe wanted to follow in your footsteps with 50 Shades, but I told him I couldn't wait to watch it because you and Ellie were telling me I had to watch it sooner than later, and there was threats
because you were not going to be part of our fan club.
Johnson fan club, yes.
Yes,
exactly.
It's a must.
So Before Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
My phone turned off. Let me go back up. So I've been wanting to watch these. I have a buddy named Diego. He was like, he put him on a list a long time ago for me, but it was kind of like your one friend you talked about who never watched any of the movies you recommended to her. I've watched plenty he recommended. I just didn't get around to those. And then when it was on your list, it was perfect time. So I gave this 4 stars. And let me tell you, I went back and forth. Does this get 3.5 and should Whip It get 4? So these were, I'm surprised to hear you say, like, I'm surprised it wasn't higher based on the number 1 on your list. Like, we'll get into number 1, but I fucking loved your number 1. There's so many things I want to do, but I end up doing not much. That's okay. I wrote down a lot of quotes, so stick with me here.
I like a lot of quotes that are quotable.
Yes. Men are so easily offended, he asks, more than women, and she replies, easily. I don't agree with that, though. When she's like, men are so easily offended, I was like, damn. And he's like, more than women, and she replies, easily. What did you think about that? Yes, men are easily offended. Actually shaking her head, yes. I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man to feed me or provide for me, but I still need a man to love me and to love. I like that. I thought that was good of like, hey, she's independent, but she still wants to be in a relationship and still wants a man in her life, despite not needing to necessarily provide for her, so to speak. So you're going to miss your plane, and he says, "I know." One of the most iconic like lines or whatever in a movie. Everybody loves that. I love watching the movie unfold and really feel like we're with them in real time, beat for beat. So one of the things I really liked about this movie is that I've never quite seen a movie, and this is what I really appreciate about it, is it almost feels like it takes place over the course of an hour and 28 minutes or whatever. It does not feel like this movie is in a day, and it's not. I'm pretty sure this movie takes place over the course of 2 hours, roughly, right? It has to, I would assume.
I think it was like 2 or 3 hours because I
2 or
think
3
they
hours.
left at like 1 or 2 from the bookshop, and then he had to be on the plane at like 5 or 6 or some shit.
Okay, so over 4 hours. All right. So we don't see too many movies that feel like you're watching it in real time as the characters are moving along. And I really appreciated that aspect of the movie. That's what I honestly probably liked almost the most about it. But I also liked it so much because I thought this was better than Before Sunrise.
Yes.
I like this
Told
one.
you.
I gave Before Sunrise 3.5. The third one I gave 3 stars to because she becomes miserable. Yeah, she's
a bitch. Just say it.
What you said, yeah. I have a woman on the panel. I have to be respectful. If Johnny was on here, I would be. I love watching the movie unfold. I wrote that great dialogue in this one, especially. Maybe it was the age that I am, but maybe it's the runtime. I don't know, but I definitely like this one the most. I think what I really like is I'm gonna put spoilers on the screen to people who haven't seen it. I know Vin's a big fan of this movie as well, Hard Copy Blues, and he watched it with his 14-year-old son recently, or the original one, and I thought that was pretty cool because his son had a lot of like input. I think that what I really like is that he knows as he gets out of that car, I feel like he knows he's going to stay with her. When he makes that decision to get out of the car, there's no way he's getting back in that car. I think he knows, like, you.
Oh yeah, he had full
in your
intention.
mind, you make up in your mind what you're going to do. Like, you predetermine what you're going to do. But honestly, I appreciate and like that he didn't want to leave her, and I like that a lot. I like that he wanted to stay with her. I found that to be something relatable and romantic. It's almost like he wasn't going her a second time. I like their characters in this one. They growth over the years. I liked certain aspects of the dialogue. They were older and knew one another already, so the dialogue felt more relatable for me in this one. They talk about sex. They talk about life and a bunch of different things, kind of like I think we're going to get in Daddy-O, so I'm super excited. Yes, I had to plug Daddy-O, sorry. But I'm really excited for that movie, but I really like when you talk about everything. And I can dig a movie like this in Daddy-O and so many others where it's just dialogue. It's just two characters talking. Like, if you're relatable, if you can relate and you enjoy the conversations, you're going to enjoy it. If you don't like the dialogue, the movie's not going to work for you, because that's all this movie is. And
their chemistry.
Yep. But love that passion, that love and passion he had for her, even over all those years. I really like that. My only gripe would be the beginning when he sees her for the first time in 9 years. It just didn't feel like it had been 9 years. Maybe they were super nervous, but it felt like they were just catching up after a few months, or a year. But maybe that's just me. Outside of that, I really liked every second. I wasn't bored, and I enjoyed the conversations, and I was totally enjoying hanging out with them. I was along for the whole ride. It felt like it was, at least. And I think this one is a bit more relatable because I understand his character more in this one. Granted, I'm not married and I don't have kids. Excuse me. But him just being excited to be with her, he doesn't want to leave. I haven't felt that energy or excitement for someone in a long time, but I remember, and it's a great feeling, and hope to find that again someday. Just being around her, his smile, and to just be with her. Nothing else really mattered. He was so happy in that moment, and that's what I like. Granted, this is a sequel, but he says, I love you. I love the way you sing. I fucked up my whole life because of the way you sing. He says that in the third one. And I had to write that down because I love how he says, I fucked up my entire life because of the way you sing. I like this one because the dialogue works for me. It's a 4 stars, but this and Whip It were like right there.
Neck and neck. Yeah.
Did you want to talk spoilers or anything like that? Well, I got spoilers on the screen.
Sure. I mean, my favorite quote in the whole thing.
And I didn't write it.
No, you did not. Because, well, you're a dude. I like when she goes, I guess when you're young, you just believe that, you'll connect with many people, basically. And then later in life, you realize that you only connect with a few.
Romantically,
true.
passionately. Yeah.
I think in general, complete, I can't say that I've ever connected with a friend on the level that, like,
Those two did?
no, never. I've never connected to anyone like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not trying to be depressing and be
No,
the
you're good. I like
single
that. Be more depressing.
single person.
My channel.
But
We'll single. It's okay.
no, it's just relatable because when you are younger, especially when you're a teenager or even in your 20s, I mean, I remember how stupid I was in my 20s, but it's just more realistic that you think that you connect with somebody, whether it be a friend or a connection, like more than that. It does not happen that much. I have never, shit, I've never even had a friend that I could be like just completely open with. So when she says that, I'm just like, oh, shit. Well, thank you for saying what I say inside my head all the time. But yeah, there's parts of her in this movie that I didn't like in the beginning, of course, when she gets, oh, this is my job and I'm just so political and climate. Oh, shut the hell up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So after that, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to lie to you. She's so hard to like a lot of the time in these movies. But because the way she is with him, she becomes likable. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way she looks at him, like that when they're in the car going to her place and he like looks away and she tries to touch him, kind of like in the first movie when he tries to touch her when they're in the trolley or some shit. And it's just like, oh God, just do it already, damn it. Like, you know that you're supposed to be together.
And I think that's what I like.
Do
So
it.
you had mentioned the quote of like, we only, and I like that. I didn't even catch up on that, but I like that so much because based on what you're saying and what she said in the movie, like how, especially as we get older, we realize how few people we connect that passionately with. Is that's why when you do find that, I feel like it's worth pursuing. It's worth going out of your way to try and make work, because you're not, if especially if it's mutual. It's one thing if it's not mutual. You can't force something that's not there with somebody else. But if it's mutual with somebody else and there's obstacles to it, whatever it may be, like they live in a different country. But when you have that with somebody, it is worth going out of your way to pursue, in my personal opinion, because you don't know if you're going to find that ever again, possibly with anybody. And so it's hard to pass up on that.
Oh, I totally agree. That's why, like, because she says that on the boat when they're just like going down the river a little bit.
I love that scene.
Yeah. And then when she gets out and then they get into the car and him just talking about how like unhappy he was in his marriage. And I really wish that he hadn't been married, but like that, I'm so tired of this whole like trope of cheating. Someone's married and we're cheating. Like, stop. Not everyone is married and cheats, damn it.
like
yes,
cheating in that sort of
shitty excuse. I don't care.
I wanted to talk about the third one, despite it not being the one, and I didn't want to like dive into it. But something that I really liked about the third one too is, and we get like an hour of them just being in the room, in the hotel room or whatever together, and she's so miserable to be around, in my opinion. But
yes,
him saying like, listen, you are miserable. I think he even says that to her. He's like, you are terrible to be around. You're a handful. And he's like, but yet here I am. He's like, we fight, we argue, but here I am. We're still together. He's like, and I don't plan on leaving you. He's like, but you get in your fucked up head of yours that I'm going to leave or that I'm trying to manipulate you or something. But I love that he is basically saying, because no relationship is perfect and it takes work and sacrifice, and it's never going to be perfect. And there's going to be things like in Good Will Hunting when he says to him, he's like, let me tell you something, sport. He's like, she's not perfect and neither are you. I love that because it's so true, despite like, and I think that quote is so relatable to me because I think sometimes you can think like, oh, there has to be, this has to line up or this has to line up. It's like, no, if you find the right one like he did, we're not going to be perfect together, but like I never had this kind of passion with anybody's kind of chemistry. Like I love you, and that's what matters. And I think I really like that because it's like, hey, it's not perfect, but he loved her and he was going to do anything he could to make it work no matter what, even though they had their issues. And even though she became, in my opinion, pretty difficult to deal with, and she really changed from the first movie. Like you said, she became very political, something that we don't really dive into in the first film.
Well,
as much.
I also think too, I mean, I totally agree with that aspect too. I think by the time you meet her in Sunset, she's very
9 years.
heartbroken. Like you can tell how heartbroken and lonely she is just by when she's talking and how she's talking, and then how she's, but maybe it's because relatable, but like I just like, I feel for her in that sense because I'm just like, okay, I get it. But you also have to be grown up enough to know that, like you said, no one's perfect, but does this person keep showing up for you every day, choosing to love you every day? And that's what he ultimately tells her basically in that hotel room. And it's just like, and then when they meet on the dock and they're talking and, you know, she's being a smart ass basically. And it's just like, lady, don't be giving this up because this guy is still he. I mean, he was the one that showed up, you know, what was it, 6 months after they had met initially, and she didn't.
Right, her mom.
So to me, I'm just like,
yeah,
you're not going to find it with anybody else.
Like you said, I couldn't agree more, and I'm glad you said that. He shows up every day. He's still putting the work in. And like, that's what a relationship is. It's showing up. It's putting the work in. Like a relationship's never going to be easy. It shouldn't be. There should be challenges, in my opinion. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but to show up every day and continue to put the work in, that's what's important. And like you said, he did that. He was doing that even after troubles and things weren't going the way. And she was tough. Like for me, that would be difficult, especially the way she seemed to change so much. And like, but he still continued to show up. He still loved her. He said, I'm not leaving. It's you who's leaving.
But at the same time, she did show up. She was still there. She was a pain in the ass. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not justifying that. But she still was there. And I feel like by the time in Sunset that she's kind of, like I said, like she's so like heartbroken and lonely that she just thinks that her defense mechanism is to push away. Like, oh, okay, well, it's not going right anymore, so fuck off, basically.
And I think too, she assumes so much though.
Yes,
she assumes, you want me to relocate. Like we're gonna do this. And it's like, hey, you're just putting this shit in your head. You're making up, you're putting words in his mouth. He never said any of this. And that's
totally
not fair to do when you put words into somebody's mouth and then just assume or something like that.
Exactly.
Assuming something makes an ass of you and me. I really think it only makes an ass of you if you assume, though.
Yes, it does. Because you're just like, wow, well, my thing is like, why couldn't she ever just admit that she was wrong? She never did. I don't even think she apologized to him.
Yeah, pride, ego. I mean, it's tough to admit when you're wrong, but if you know you're wrong too, why not just admit it, like you even just said?
But she's also French, so there's that.
I'm gonna take spoilers off the screen here.
Okay.
We dove deep on that one.
Well, it's 3 movies, so let's be real.
It's good with me. I'm fine with it.
Hopefully,
Tiana
we didn't
says,
lose people.
It's okay if we did. I always tell people like, I appreciate these streams. Like, it's so much fun to me. We'll forgive Ashley for not like Barbie. I already read that. But these streams are mainly for the person that I have on, like you and I, to communicate. It's why I don't involve the chat until when we're done talking. But I really do enjoy that. I see people on Instagram, like they'll go and watch these movies that you've recommended to me. I really like that. I'm glad the stream makes a difference and people find movies to watch. That's what's fun for me, is like experiencing new movies. Oh God, more depressing movies. Tiana says, yeah. Mizzy says, never seen the Sunset Trilogy. Heard they're good though. I don't know if it's your your type of thing, though, Mizzy. The Before trilogy is so good. I love these films. I never seen this movie before. You would like all three of them. Bob's favorite movie is The Town, but spoiler alert: a Serbian film is a very high second in his eyes. He really loved the filmography, so detailed. He is wrong. Mike, laugh out loud. Mike, also need to see this trilogy. I remember liking Before Sunrise more than Before Sunset. I need to revisit the trilogy to see how I feel now. Yes, you do. And Tiana and Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Okay. Do you want to dive into number 2? Did you have a lot more to say? Because we only talked about one quote, and then that was it. I didn't give you the floor on anything else.
No, I think we covered the damn movie, so
We
we're
did,
good.
yeah. Trying to get a woman to admit they're wrong is like trying to get Tony to part with something in his collection. Ain't gonna happen. Now, if you'll excuse me, April has a bat in her hands.
As she should, Johnny.
I was watching Ashley's reaction when he said that too. I was just watching your face.
Admit that they're wrong. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not a normal chick, though. I don't know.
You're different. You're definitely different. You're not like, yeah, as you put the word, you're not quite as feminine as others are. Tiana saying, Johnny, I hate to admit I'm wrong. I think most people hate to admit they're wrong. Pride, ego, whatever it is. You want to dive into number 2?
I'm very curious which one it is.
Do you have an idea of which one it is?
No, because they're both really fucking good movies.
If you know me, you should know which one would be my number 1.
I mean, I feel like I know it's going to be the... Should I just say it?
Let's see was it this one?
No. Holy shit. You gave that one number 1? Oh my God, Bob. Bob. Really?
That's not okay?
No, it's fine. I'm just utterly shocked.
I'm so glad that I could shock you. I do it every week to everybody.
But Nightcrawler. I love this movie.
Nightcrawler's so good. We'll dive into number 1 in about 30 minutes after we're done talking Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Let's see what I got here. For Nightcrawler. Let's see. I ended up just buying it too, by the way. I just bought it on eBay for like $15. Got it with the slip. Okay. Keep in mind, once again, I was taking notes because you're going to be like, wow, Bob has a lot of shit wrong in his head based on the notes I took. But you got to understand, I was taking notes in the beginning before the ending of this movie or before the movie went on. So I wrote, he's super well-spoken, thorough, and honest, and I love that. Like, he is very well-spoken throughout the movie. You're going to be like, I had to specify that. I wrote this as the movie's going on. He's all about growth. We talked about this before, you and I, but I love that he works his ass off. He wants to grow. He didn't settle. He constantly put himself out there, and when no one would give him a chance, he figured it out himself. Mm-hmm. He found a way to work to find success at it. I'm going to put spoilers on the screen for this one too. Pretty difficult to talk this movie without spoilers as well. So diving into spoilers, anybody who hasn't seen Nightcrawler, go check it out. I love Jake. He's amazing in everything, but in this, he's super unique and commands your attention. I wrote great supporting cast. I wrote a quote. What if my problem isn't that I don't understand people like them? I was like, me, that's me. It's me to a T. I don't like people either. I was like, I understand. Let's see. Reminds me of Civil War quite a bit. Cutthroat business, filming your partners and employees' deaths. I wrote like that aspect of it reminded me a little bit of Nightcrawler and Civil War being similar in the aspect of like it's just a cutthroat business and you film your employees' deaths, sort of. Yeah. So very interesting. You want success, but at what cost? I wrote like having success, but at what cost? Really well made, kept me completely invested and engaged. I was really captivated by everything. Really suspenseful, intense ending. I love watching Lou negotiate and have to have it used against him. You can just see immediately how upset he is when it's used against him, the negotiation. He says it too. But he knew he was going to manipulate him or set his partner up at some point. He was so cold-blooded. You could just see it. Mm-hmm. He refused to fail or have anyone stand in his way, no matter who it was. He was just so ruthless and wasn't going to be denied. Really interesting character to watch unfold. He just descended into a madman. But I really liked it. I really liked how determined he was. I appreciated that aspect of it. Like him or love him, I appreciated that. I haven't even brought up the crap he does to his competitor's van. He was so smart and so smooth, but really cold-blooded, but he never really made a mistake, never got caught in his deceit or lies. And I wrote another home run, Ashley, 5 for 5 in your recommendations. At the time, you were 5 for 5.
Oh,
So,
okay. Gotcha.
but that's everything I wrote.
What did you give this rating?
4.5. 4.5
Four
stars.
and a half. Okay.
Yeah, 5's really tough to come by for me. Like really tough nowadays.
You're
I got
ridiculous.
a lot more stricter on my 5 stars rankings. People
Don't
gave me
be
a hard time and said
pretentious.
people gave me a hard time and said I give too many 5 stars. So I was like,
Tell them
okay,
shut up. Who
I'll
cares?
stop giving as many 5 stars then. So no 5 stars on this one. Number 2, pretty high up. There's the flick off. I got flicked off on number 2. Damn.
Because you said there's no 5 stars. What a loser.
So what did you? I know you love this one as well. I knew the top, like my top ones. We'll see how I have your list at the end. Like I said, I put it together on a whim, but
Okay.
I think I'm pretty in the ballpark of yours, and I do want to change your number 1 and 2 because I think I now know what your number 1 is, but I'm not going to change it.
Okay. I wrote this movie just immediately makes me feel at home again with California again.
I thought you were going to say because of his character. Like,
and
okay, you're saying a lot actually.
Well, when I literally gave you this list and I was rewatching them myself, I was like, holy shit, I gave him a lot of movies that are California based, but what do you expect?
You say really good. I was like, okay, all right.
I didn't mean to, but I don't know. Like, to me, because the way it's shot and it is that. It's brutal. You know what I mean? Like, I swear to God, he has like, what is it like? Shit. Some sort of, he's almost got like Asperger's or some shit like that. Because if you watch him and the way he is, and then how he kind of, yes. And I've worked with people who have that. So you're just kind of like, are you going to kill me right now? Or are you fine? But like, and he gives you that vibe the whole time. And his performance in this movie is ridiculously good. Like,
yeah, but Jake Gyllenhaal, he's never been not good.
No, but he's not Jake Gyllenhaal here.
He's one of the best actors alive, in my opinion. He is always good. Like,
duh, of course he is.
He's so good in this, especially. So
think of a movie
with that. So
think of another movie that he just completely gets lost in, like this movie.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, he commands the screen, but I do love his performance in Southpaw. I love his performance.
I think he's better in Prisoners, but that's just me. Southpaw is really good though. Yeah. But like,
kind of look like Southpaw.
You're stupid.
What else we got?
Oh, okay. So my other thing was I took down. I'm like, yes, he knows how to go, like how you're saying, like he knows how to just go and pursue whatever the hell he wants, but also at the same time, as somebody who's done photography, I haven't done video, but it's in the same vein. You have to have an eye for it, and when you're watching like his stuff, even though it's absolutely heartless and ruthless, there is like, you can see that there's just sheer talent right there. Like when he goes into the house that all those people got murdered in, and he's just getting those camera angles, and then he pans up to like the where the crib's at, and you're just like, oh shit, there better not be a baby in there. You know what I mean? And then the way he like kind of builds your tension, and you're just, oh shit. And like nobody talks about, like, yeah, he's a weird dude in this movie, but he's also super talented, like super. That's why he became just out of the woodworks. He had his little, what was that, like a little Honda station wagon thing or something, and then all of a sudden he's got his Challenger.
That's another thing. Every time I pump my gas now, I'm thinking of Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm thinking he's behind me if I get a little gasoline on my car.
Like, hey, I was like that with my Mustang, so I get it. Wipe that shit off.
He is. It's an interesting watch to see, like, just this descend into madness.
Yeah.
because he doesn't start off like that. I didn't realize that because once again, didn't watch a trailer. I obviously knew about Nightcrawler. This was one though, Ashley. I had passed on it. The reason why you were able to put this on my list is because I never had an interest in really watching this movie. I was like, okay, you know, it looks fine. Like, I don't think I like it. I don't know enough about it. I never seeked it out until you obviously put it on my list, and I did not anticipate enjoying it to the point where I gave it 4.5.
It's just, I think that like when you go into it initially, like you're kind of expecting something else, and then it's just this like, man, this guy's fucked up. Like, yeah, let's just set this shot up and kill these people and kill that guy, and oh, he's fine. Just come get the shot.
Yeah,
bang.
And two, like everything he does, though, he's a step like truly a step ahead. So the whole when the FBI comes and they're like, "Hey, do you have any more footage? Did you get a license plate? Did you get a look at them?" And he's like, "No." From to the point that to where he kills it's his partner set up. Like you could just see after everything comes to be. I don't necessarily know what his plan is, but you watch this movie and you're like, everything he does, he's a step ahead. He knows his next move.
Yeah,
he's smart. He's just so smart.
Yeah, but yeah, I love this movie, and I love that Bill Paxton just has his little random moments, and then when him and Jake Gyllenhaal are talking, and he's like offering him a job basically, and Jake Gyllenhaal basically tells him to shove it. Like, yeah, dude, right then and there, I was just like, oh man, Bill Paxton's either dead or he's gonna get messed up. I just thought that was so good.
It was watching him, you know, do that to his van or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, shouldn't have screwed with him.
Do you want to dive into the chat?
Sure.
Do you have anything else you want to say on this?
No. I think I'm good. Okay.
Let's see what the chat has to say on this. We got 35 messages to catch up on. Bob hates fish. How did that come up? David Fincher. Yeah, I watched Social Network yesterday, and it's a reason why I didn't watch it this long. It was okay. He does not do anything for me, David Fincher.
It's one of his worst movies. I don't care what anyone says.
I love Panic Room. Outside of that, like Seven's good, I suppose. I fucking hate The Game. I do not like that movie.
I don't like that one. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is one of my favorites.
And I also don't like Fight Club. Sorry. I don't like the whole, once again, we went over this, not where people aren't really there and they're not alive. Like, I'm not into that shit. So,
well, you gotta watch Zodiac.
I do gotta see Zodiac. This guy right here keeps telling me to watch Zodiac.
See, Mizzy knows what's up.
Sometimes. Debatable. What's up, Steve? Nightcrawler is freaking awesome. He does like that, yeah. I watched Nightcrawler, he's like, is it on somebody's watch list? And he goes, I'm fucking pissed. I would have put that on your watch list for sure. It would be Men or something. He's like, if I had known you didn't see that. So, it's so funny when you talk to people though, or they see me watch a movie like Mizzy right there. It's like, hold on. This person hasn't seen this. That's why when I recommend movies to people, I'm like, I need to start asking them, like, have you seen Back to the Future? Because you never know the blind spots that people have.
Yeah.
So, but until you ask, you just never know. I just recently found out somebody hadn't seen The Town, and I was like, what? If you like Nightcrawler, you got to see Cannibal Holland. Nightcrawler. I feel like everyone loves this movie. Finch says Nightcrawler is so good. Movie Warehouse says you never have to admit you're wrong if you're always right and everyone else is wrong. What's up, Steve? Jake Gyllenhaal's greatest performance, Prince says. And Ashley agrees. Nightcrawler is amazing. One of my favorites. Jake is so great in Nightcrawler. Jake and Riz are great. And, of course, Bill Paxton. So I didn't know, like, Riz Ahmed, that's his name, right?
Yeah. Ahmed. Whatever.
He's so good in Sound of Metal. I did not realize that he was the same person in this movie, like, because he's so different.
Oh, really?
Have you ever seen Sound of Metal?
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you like it?
I gave it like 4, I think.
Okay, that's good. I thought you were going to say, it was okay. See, a 4 is okay. For me, a 4 means I loved it.
Well, I liked certain aspects, but
There,
I,
as
I
you
don't
should,
know,
Bob.
like kind of drug a little bit.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Tim and I don't agree, but that's okay. It was on his watch list, so you should give 5 stars to whatever the fuck you want, Bob. People just want to be pretentious for no reason. Nightcrawler's fucking 5 stars.
See,
Look at that.
Anthony knows. Damn it.
Zodiac and Nightcrawler are 5 star worthy flicks. I agree. That's why I don't really care. Like people, there are movies where everybody on there gives something a half a star or 1 star. People love to give me shit. If I think something's 4 and you all think it's 1 star, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm giving it 4
I don't
stars.
care.
That's just the way I.
Hey,
Anthony says, "Do you know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real." Blue
yes.
bloom. I've
Love
told
that.
Bob he needs to check out Zodiac because of Jake. He was good in End of Watch as well. He was. It's not as good as Cha Cha Real Smooth. Come on, Anthony, don't be crazy. Bob, are you kidding? You haven't seen Zodiac. Zodiac was okay. I didn't love it. And he hates Fincher. How do we get started on David Fincher? When you look at my
I have no
letterbox,
idea.
Bob, there's only 3 movies I hate there in my film library. Some people love everything. It's very rare for me to hate a movie. Bob hates Fincher, question marks. So you hated The Killer, Bob. Hey, damn it. LOL. Had I known you haven't seen Zodiac, I would have put it on my list for you. I need to watch Sound of Metal. Yes, you do. Same thoughts, Johnny. Me too, Prince. See, everybody would have put Zodiac on their list. What grinds Bob's gears? People and their damn letterbox stars ratings. No, what grinds my gears, and there's a whole segment that Ken started, what grinds Bob's gears, because I love to go into rants and I get really heated. But what grinds my gears is when people get judgmental over how you rank stuff. Like, oh, you're wrong. You didn't have this at number 1, or this is. It's like, no, motherfucker. This is my score. Kiss my ass. Like, kiss my white lily ass. That's how I feel about people in their rankings and feeling like he's right.
I can guarantee you that I'm going to piss off a lot of people when I give my 2024 ranking because Madam Web is higher than Challengers.
Love Lies Bleeding. Hold on. Love Lies Bleeding, Civil War, and First Omen are 1, 2, and 3. I don't know how, what order, but they're 1, 2, and 3. No. Hold on.
Hold on.
Civil War and First Omen are 1 and 2. I don't know.
I can't decide which one's yet.
Or Dune Part 2.
That's up there.
Yeah.
See? Do you know which one I just moved up into the top 5 though?
No.
I just watched it the other day.
Not Madam Web.
No. Fall Guy.
Not Cha Cha Real Smooth. That was 2020.
That came out in 2022.
The
Fall Guy.
Okay.
Holy shit, I love that movie. I was like,
so good. And
why are people bitching?
And Emily Blunt is also another one that's just super likable, and she's amazing.
Dude, I think her and Kristen Stewart are like my top actresses. Like I've seen most of their stuff.
Emily Blunt's top 3 for me, so I approve of your ranking right there.
Emily Blunt has always been an absolute favorite, and honestly, I think I'm gonna watch Devil Wears Prada when we're done.
Well, I know Mizzy's happy because he loves Devils Wear Prada.
Are you being serious?
No, I'm dead serious. I told him to put it on my next list, and he's like, I don't think so. Laugh about love. Bob's talking to me, I think. Well, there will be more films coming out in 2024 that may be higher. Bad Boys Ride or Die, baby. I love that one. I've loved Bad Boys my whole life. But yes, Mizzy likes, hot take, Ashley.
Which one's a hot take?
Madam Web.
Oh, I know it's a hot take.
Probably.
I was watching that movie and I'm like, why the hell does everyone hate this? Okay.
We all have hot takes. I know a very hot take by Ellie that most people would not agree with, and it involves Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, I told her, I was like, no, we cannot discuss this.
Did you do your no, sweetheart, or whatever?
No, because I actually like Allie.
Oh, okay. We only do that if you don't like people. So Ellie pulls out the like, sweetheart, let me tell you, bless your heart.
I'll do it to you sometimes.
You have.
But you're a dude, so it's different.
Fall Guy was super fun. Mizzy's not happy I spoiled that he likes Devils Wear Prada. So you're like, I'm surprised that dudes like that movie?
Yes.
Like Lady Bird?
Well, No, it's because the movie is all about the fashion industry, and it's following Anne Hathaway, and uh,
See, he
and
does
then
like it.
but it's such a good movie. I can see why you like it.
The Jason cameo is badass. Bob's very excited because his favorite team. Oh my god! I'll watch Devils Wear Prada with Mizzy any day. Okay, Holland. I get a blanket and popcorn, Mizzy. Holland Oates, come
Having a
over.
sleepover.
I agree, Mizzy. Fall Guys, fun having a sleepover. Look at that. Let's see here. No Dallas is his favorite exactly. Haha, thanks, Holland. I haven't seen Devils Wear Prada, and I don't know if I would like it. There are some movies that are definitely geared towards chicks, hence chick flicks that I like, but there are a lot that I also truly hate, like Lady Bird and I guess Barbie's geared towards everybody but me, because I fucking hate that. But there's a lot of movies geared towards chicks that I still watch. I do like most people might look at me and be like, how does he like The Notebook or Dear John? I like both of those movies though. So, but I'm also very big, always been into romantic movies my whole life. So,
Nothing wrong with that.
Mikey's still salty about it. Boo, no, you have to. I might check out Devil's Wear Prada. It's one of those things like it probably would have to go on somebody's list for me to watch it. And if somebody put Zodiac on a list for me, I'll probably watch it quicker than
Good.
usual. It's also like 2 hours, 40 minutes. So I got 73 movies to talk to you backstage about tonight.
I know, but we haven't even talked about number one.
We haven't, and that one's going to be a 45-minute discussion. So I got it right here.
Hey.
Do you want to dive into the massage? The massage is oozing out about. Okay.
Yes.
No
Let's
chance
talk about number one.
Recommendations, but no, Prince. It's going to take me a long time. I've got like a lot of watch lists to get to, and it'll take time. Give me time. Okay. Where is it? Number one. Here we go. You ready? Do you know what it is?
Yeah. I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. We have got The Accused with one of the greatest actresses of all time, Jodie Foster,
Yes.
and Kelly McGinnis.
Yep.
Good luck being in a movie with Jodie Foster and having to hold your own. But seriously, Kelly does a really good job in this.
Oh, hell yeah.
But
She's a good actress.
She is a good actress, but when you're up against Jodie, like with Jodie Foster, nobody could hold a candle to what Jodie Foster does. I'm sorry. Jodie Foster is one of the greatest actresses also of all time.
Much agreed. She's my favorite. So yeah.
I thought Kristen Stewart and Emily Blunt were your top two favorites.
Top three.
Who's
Those are top three.
So Jodie Foster number one?
She has always been my number one.
Okay.
Since I was a wee one with Freaky Friday and Candle Shoe. Those were the ones I used to watch.
Okay.
She was a kid in those movies. 60s. Yes.
Yep. Taxi Driver, right?
Yep. I didn't watch that till I was like a teenager, though.
Okay. I literally put. First off, Jodie fucking Foster. I put that. She's probably the most or one of the most impressive actresses I've ever seen in my life. She commands the screen, and this is one of her best roles, but she has so many remarkable roles. Kelly McGillis is really good too, like exceptional, but when you're in a movie with Jodie Foster, good luck. Jonathan Kaplan directed his ass off in this. I wrote every scene and every shot serves a purpose. Shots zooming in during the courtroom scenes, just remarkable direction. I absolutely think there's some movies I watch out there, like a Hotel Mumbai, like this, where I'm just like, I want to pinpoint the directing in this movie of how you could see the passion and like the hard work behind the camera in this movie. We got to dive into spoilers. See, I got it. Okay, spoilers. If you haven't seen this movie, definitely going to dive into some spoilers. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Fish pull this movie yesterday? Was it Fish? Somebody pulled The Accused, and I kept my mouth shut. And so did you.
He might have.
I think it was Fish.
I think that he did.
Let me see.
I didn't pull it.
Somebody pulled this yesterday. Here, right here. Yes, this is one of my favorites. Jodie is fantastic. This was going to be on my next list for you, Bob. And yes, I did pull it last night. See, I thought.
Okay, cool.
Oh, this I got to check out. The Accused, heard great things. The Accused is 5 stars for me, Joe says. For me, 4.5. Damn good film. The Accused is one of my all-time favorites. Jane Doe Letty says Nikki has good taste in movies. Clearly,
Yes.
yes. OG Freaky Friday. We're past that. Mizzy, get with it. Joe says Fish pulled it, and Johnny says that pinball machine still is burned into my head, and it's been almost 30 years since its release. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about that. All right. One very tough scene to sit through later on. It will break your heart. And what's scary or crazy, but most of all tragic, is that this still happens today. It might even be more accurate today. I honestly think I gave a fist pump at the end of the movie. I think I gave one of these.
Yes.
That's like, yes. The way women dress is always a huge topic. It always seems to be, well, what did she do to deserve it? And that was kind of the whole like courtroom and stuff. And in the beginning of this movie, they ask her, what were you wearing? And she was dancing and flirting. So they literally, I think she asks her, like, what were you wearing? And Kelly McGillis's character warns her, like, those questions are going to come up. And that's always a hot topic, especially in 2024 with Instagram and everything, is what was she wearing? What was she doing? How was she dancing? Obviously, she asked for it, all that stuff. And in the beginning of this movie, but at the end of the day, no matter how drunk, how high, how much flirting, or how seductive you're dancing, no will always mean no. And she says no in this movie.
Several times.
Yes. And to question her, because they're like, did you say stop, though? Right? Is that what they ask? Did you ever say stop? And she's like, no, I said no, I think. She's like, they're like, so you never said stop. And it's like, well, I think they had their hand over her mouth or something, she says. And they're like, why didn't you say stop? Though, and it's like, well, I said no. I would think no.
But this was also a different time.
Yeah,
you have to remember that it's not nowadays.
94.
So
something like that.
88.
Unless the movie took place
earlier. It was 88.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And to question her of why she didn't scream rape or stop. I understand it's a movie and it's a courtroom drama and there's always a defense, but damn, this one really got to me. Like, how do you defend that scum? They changed and shouted and encouraged a rape happening. Oh, they changed. I don't know what the hell I meant to write. And shouted and encouraged a rape happening right in front of them. So I've realized as I've gotten older, because two genres I wasn't always into, and that was courtroom dramas two genres that I wasn't always into: courtroom dramas and westerns. And I don't know what movie it was that made me a fan of westerns. 310 to Yuma, I don't know. And then also courtroom dramas. I have fallen in love with courtroom dramas, mostly because I want to feel emotion when I watch a movie, and most courtroom dramas bring out a lot of emotion. And this one in particular made me really angry watching it. Because I wasn't sure if we were going to get to see what happened. And like Johnny said, boy, that's a rough scene. I'm just glad the movie ended the way it did. I loved it. It's just an incredible watch. It's not necessarily the easiest watch, and there's one very long but important scene. The entire bar scene with the flashback was so incredibly acted and directed, top notch. Phenomenal movie. There's something about courtroom dramas as I've gotten older. I love the majority of them. I like being invested on edge in my movies, and I want to feel emotion. And this movie does all of that. Well done. It hits me very hard. It's heartbreaking. A lot of pigs out there, and still to this day, it's no different. I wrote all that. Everything I got written down. But I loved it.
I like this movie.
And I thought that that scene in the bar, the flashback, like I said, well directed. It's really, from what I remember too, it's almost if I remember correctly, there's a lot of long one takes in that scene. Am I right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's scenes when it's just, I swear it's like 5 minutes of just one continuous shot, and you're just it's that scene. I mean, it gets to you, especially, if you're a woman and I'm not saying that it can't get to a guy, but you know what I mean? It's just, you watch it and you just realize how incredibly vulnerable you are, and how just these, let's just call them heathens. They're not men. Those things are disgusting people. That they could just pick you up and just do whatever they want with you just because they're a psycho. It's like, what the hell? And then I thought the way that they shot that scene was also, I hate to say this with that kind of a scene, but it was like tasteful. It didn't make you, I mean, it makes you feel, and you're just like, holy shit, this is terrible. But like, say like when you watch like a movie like I Spit on Your Grave, you don't,
It's pretty
it's not
tasteless.
like, yeah, that's gross. This is like, it's showing you the rawness, and it's making you feel what you should feel when you see something like that. Like,
And I think
this is vile.
that's why when you had said like there's a really tough watch on there, I was like, I didn't know even what you were talking about necessarily, because I guess in a movie like this, I thought this was tame. And I don't want to like sound disrespectful, but I've seen movies like the original I Spit on Your Grave and the original Last House on the Left. Those go on for 45 minutes, and it's very graphic and it's pretty tasteless. I love the revenge in it, but like those are tough watches.
Yes.
And this is a tough watch, but like I said, very well directed. And it is.
Yeah.
My dad always says too, he's like, it's done in good taste, he'll always say. So I thought something like this was done in good taste. And obviously it has a really good story, and it's not like a rape revenge movie. It's a courtroom drama more. So
Yes. Well, dude, one of my favorite scenes is when she asks her to go to the bar and point them out. And I mean, this just happened to her, and she has the ability to go in and be like, that piece of shit, that one, and that one. You know what I mean? I'm just like, dude, the amount of strength that Jodie Foster's character had in that movie is just unreal. Because I sympathize for the people who are in that situation regardless, but the ones that cannot like bring themselves mentally to do that kind of thing, like I feel so bad. But her character was like, no, fuck these people. I want them to, get what they deserve. And it's just like, no wonder why she won the Best Actress for this one. I think this was her first Oscar too.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then
she was nominated for Taxi Driver, and she
Yes.
also won for obviously Silence of the Lambs as well.
Yeah, this one was first though, because
Silence was 91.
Yeah,
won Best Picture in 92. I agree with everything you're saying, and I think a movie like this, like you said, very done in good taste, but also like you said, I think you can sympathize more, and it probably affects you even more being a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many scenes, even in the beginning, where Kelly McGillis is like, these are the questions they're going to ask you. Like, she's like, what the fuck did it matter what I was wearing? And then obviously she finds out later on that she said, like, at one point she's at the bar and she's like, I'm going to fuck somebody, or I would fuck him, or something like that, she says, right? And they use that against her. And it's like, people say that, but then it gets used against you, obviously, in a court, in a room, and all that stuff. But one scene that I didn't write down, but I loved, was the end of this movie. And I still got spoilers on, so this is a massive spoiler. But after they win the court case, and she looks at him because he's like, he doesn't want to do it because he's being threatened, kind of, the one guy. And he goes on the stand and says everything that happened. I love that she looks at him, and I think she says thank you, or she mouths the word thank you, right?
Yeah, I think so. And she kind of like nods at him, like, I appreciate
like,
that.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, and he like,
I
think he's got a tear in his eye maybe, and he's just like, I'm sorry.
Because without him, she would have been screwed.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and
exactly. I get goosebumps talking about it, but that he
right
at the end that he comes to, and when he's giving that story too, though, like, because I didn't know if it was going to be told, if we're going to get flashback of it, how it was going to be played out. But like I said, some movies I'll point out a script, I'll point out actors, I'll point out the writing, the dialogue, whatever it might be. Like, you're going to point out in Before Sunrise the dialogue, like I said. Nightcrawler, it's a great movie, well-rounded, like, great acting. This one, I pinpoint directing, like, and I don't know too much about this director, not by name at least, but like, I just want to give this guy his flowers, so to speak, of how good the directing is in this movie. Like, it is so, movies like this are I think movies like this, in my opinion, I'm not the Academy for a reason, but like this is the type of shit that should be nominated for Best Director, in my opinion.
Oh
Because
yeah, for sure. Because
he's
it's just a
directing that like this is
well-rounded.
so good. Yes. Like he brings it
Yeah.
to life perfectly. He really does. And it's not an easy subject matter, and it's done tastefully, like you said. Like all these things, he makes that happen. Obviously, he's got a great cast, really good writing, and also a great great acting. So that helps too. But like he brings this movie to life so well.
Yeah. Well, in what I really liked about the acting per se is, when you go through something like that, I would find it very hard to trust people again, or just in general. But watching this movie and then seeing Jodie Foster and Kelly McGillis, like their bond and just her trusting her that she is actually going to help her and try everything she can to get these pieces of shit behind the bars. And it's just like, I loved watching that because it also shows that you can still, like, there's still some optimism, even after something horrific like this. You know what I mean? And it's like, I love that she doesn't really scold her when she just comes barging into her house and like interrupts her dinner with her friends. She doesn't really scold her. She's just kind of like, this is not the time right now. Like, of course I want to hear this, but just not right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's very sympathetic towards her.
Very understanding. Yeah.
Yes. And it's just like, thank you. Because typically they always show women as like, we just hate each other all the time. And it's like, dude, no, not the case. Not the case.
I do. I laugh at you saying that because sometimes I'm like, nobody hates women more than women themselves. I've said that.
Well, I mean, it's true, but
because seriously, like I look at, not to get super off topic, but like Caitlin Clark. I've never seen so many women hate on that. Like, and she's done so much for women in the WNBA, and yet women can't stand Caitlin Clark, especially because I think she's white, so they don't like that either.
well, she's white and straight, so they don't
yeah.
like that.
Exactly. And so I just look at that though, and I'm like, it's all like Charles Barkley came out. He's like, nobody hates women more than women, he said. And I was like, true.
Well,
True. It seems
and
like
I think personally, I think it has a lot to do with society pushing that. Because if you think about it, how like people used to be very communal. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, like we're all buddies. Of course you're gonna have the gossip queen bitches, but like that just happens with everyone. Because men gossip too. I don't care. I've been around gossipy men and it's cringe, but like it's just like so pushed that women just hate each other. And it's just like, dude, no. When I see people, like any of my buddies, like on here or whatever, like just being happy, like whether it's being with their boyfriends or their husbands or something like that, and they're posting about them, or they got the new, I don't know, iPhone or some shit. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. Good for you. I'm so glad you're happy. Why can't just be that way? And that's what they show in this. And I'm just like,
yeah,
thank you.
it definitely does show that for sure. And I think with courtroom dramas, I mean, there's always going to be a defense attorney, and whether right or wrong, it's just like sometimes you get so angry. And I think one scene that really just watching stuff like this that makes me so angry is these guys, they knew, like, it's wrong, like you said, different times, but like wrong is wrong, and rape is rape, and that's rape.
Yeah.
It's there's no question about it. There's no, oh, was it not? And it's so aggravating to watch these guys be like, celebrate it, egg it on, chant on. I probably wrote chanting instead of challenging, but they chant and they egg it on, and they're like, yeah, you get in there and do it. And it's like, and then they go to court, they're sitting there, and I know these are movies, but you're like, they never even acknowledge that they were wrong. Like, I guess if you're a piece of shit enough to watch somebody do that, or I guess you're never gonna understand you're wrong in it. But it's like, it's so aggravating as a viewer to watch that and be like you want to jump through the TV. Even as a guy, I want to, and just punch him or strangle him because I'm like, how do you not realize this was wrong? But I guess they
Yeah.
don't care.
No, it was, but it's just like, I mean, they got what they deserved
Mm-hmm.
in
And
the
with
end.
them going back to court and getting the whatever it was, the charge against them, it made the people that were already in jail that like did a plea bargain, they were going to get like full rape or whatever the charge was, right? So they were going to get a lot more time in jail versus the time that they did the plea bargain. So I really like that too, that it was going to go back and like fall on them even harder. So all of them went to jail, like egging it on or whatever the charges are. But yeah, I really like, obviously, like I said, I love how this movie comes together and ends. Did you want to keep talking spoilers? Did you want me to take it off screen?
No, you can take it off if you want.
Okay. And I got 12 comments in the chat to catch up with. We'll see what everyone says. It's not like funny, but the way sometimes the chat will be so quiet and just like listen to your conversation, or some of them might have you on mute because they've never seen it. But I watch like us talk for 20 minutes and the chat go from like 9 to 12. So it's too much, but I'm like, cool. If you want to watch us or like listen to us, I appreciate that. Let's see here. Was it A Time to Kill that got you about? It might have been A Time to Kill that actually made me love courtroom dramas, Fish. That might be the one. Have you ever seen A Time to Kill?
Yeah.
I like that one.
Good.
Yeah, I love that one. A Few Good Men Will Always Be a Legendary Movie. I agree. Another great one, Fish. Love courtroom dramas. Can watch marathons of Law and Order all day. That one. I finally watched To Kill a Mockingbird. Yay. Nikki says, oh, yes, Fish, I read A Time to Kill, and it's a bit more graphic than can be portrayed, but it definitely does justice to the written story. An excellent film. And that movie's pretty graphic when it goes into the details as well. Fish says, love that. Jodie won Best Actress for this. Well deserved. And I didn't even know that. Bob, let me ask Ashley the great debate, slipcover or steelbook? You were asked this in the group chat today. And the Dakota Johnson Club.
It's right now it's slipcovers.
Steelbooks
haven't been doing it for me.
Okay. Usually they're not as damaged. I guess you could damage the corners, but steelbooks always come with scratches or dents. They do. Ashley Prince says, I think they're jealous of her legacy. They're trying to erase her, which is horrible to see. Like, what the fuck, man? Give her a fair chance. From my perspective, at least, he says. That bar scene was so visceral. I was so scared for her leading up to the attack and absolutely horrified by what those monsters did to her.
Yes. Well, and you know what I really liked about it too is that they kind of just hinted at the beginning of the movie, and then towards the end, you know, when the whole courtroom scene, they showed it. I was like, oh shit, man.
You don't feel that necessarily. I didn't know if they're just gonna go and do a like talk about it, you know, like it's not a flashback, but it's quoted like a flashback. It's told in the courtroom, but they know it. Missy hasn't seen it. Sorry, had to mute. Want to definitely check out The Accused. So slipcover love, he says. Yeah, so I appreciate people who mute us. I don't want you to hear spoilers. Are you big into spoilers? Do you like spoilers? Do you hate spoilers?
Depends on how bad I want to see something.
Okay.
I will, like when Game of Thrones was going and people would spoil it, I would want to kick them in the balls every time.
Okay.
Like, just
so like you read spoilers. Did you read spoilers though for Love Lies Bleeding?
Well, the reviews that I watched, these people really know how to not spoil. They give you hints about things, but they don't like just spoil it, because they'll just be like, oh my god, you know, like Kristen Stewart's acting was phenomenal and Rose Glass just gives you another phenomenal movie, which she did, because Saint Maud is awesome too. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. There's certain people that can talk about a movie without spoiling it, but if you spoil it, like if you would have told me about the whole end scene, I've been like, what the fuck? I want to watch this and get the what the fuck moment.
I wanted to kick, speaking of wanting to kick somebody in the balls, I was doing a stream, and I swear, of course, I had like the most people watching at the time. It was like the night before Scream 6 came out, and somebody came in the chat and was like, here's the killer. This is the killer. This person dies. Here's the killer. And I'm the host. So I have to pay attention to the chat. I'm trying to block this person and I'm reading it. And multiple people in the chat that night got spoiled because of my stream. It wasn't me, but they got spoiled. And I just felt felt bad about it. But I was actually just as pissed as anyone because I'm like, Scream is my favorite franchise in the world. So Saint
that's
Maud,
definitely a movie that you can spoil.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Saint Maud, the shoe scene, he says. I haven't seen
it. The end scene too.
I haven't seen it. Easy on the spoilers, though. Tony says The Accused was one that I wanted on Blu-ray for years. Glad to have it in the collection. Yeah, I immediately. This was one after I watched it. I bought it. For like I think $15 or something. I had Amazon credit, and so yeah, I already bought it. I already have it. Oh, I remember that person who spoiled Scream 6. Yeah, I do too. They're still blocked. Yep. And then they came on to another stream once. I was on, and I was a guest, and I was like, "Oh, you're the asshole that spoiled Scream." And yeah, I was pissed. Anyways, so that was my number one. That is my entire list of 10 movies you recommended. You were 8 for 10, and the only two I didn't like were the two weird ones, which were Gentlemen Broncos and
Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah, Under the Silver Lake. So outside of that, like 8 for 10. One of the best lists I've received out of the 10. I've received 10 lists. I finished 10 lists, I should say, so far. And I still got to do a live stream. And then really fun thing, I think it's fun, and Joe's excited. One of the things I'm going to do when I'm all done with the 10th live stream that I do on this is I'm going to rank like my top 10. I'm going to rank my bottom 10. And then I'm going to rank everybody's list from 1 to 10. So I hope people have thick skin.
Get all the rankings then.
Fuck that troll. Yeah. So like for me, if it's over 3 stars, it's a like that's a successful rating. So I always tell people like if your whole list is 3 or above, that's like 10 for 10 in my opinion. So I liked your list, and I know I was like giving you a hard time, or I didn't think I was, but I didn't want you to know how I felt about your list. I definitely didn't want you to know that I really liked a lot of them, because that would ruin the surprise, I suppose. I kind of want people to actually think I'll hate their movies. And I know Tony right now in the chat, well, you hated Marrowbone.
I haven't even seen that movie, so I couldn't tell you if I liked it or not.
It's not good.
It's
Ellie
not good.
So did Film Addiction, though. Cody loved it. Ellie loved it. They all gave it 4 stars. I'm like, here's the thing about, okay, when somebody recommends a movie to me that I give 1 star to, or 1.5, people will be like, oh, let me go watch that immediately. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it. I have to see it. Now, if I give a movie that somebody gives 1.5 to, they're like, fuck that. I'll never watch it a day in my life. That sounds like shit. I'm like, oh, but if I give it 1 star, of course, everybody's going and jumping on it. But of course, so, you know, it's just like if I recommend it and she gives it 1 star, like let's say I recommend a movie to you and you're like 1 star, this movie was pure ass. People will be like, yeah, screw that. Bob sucks at recommending movies. But then it's like, now people want to watch Gentleman's Bronco Watch. You're going to see a bunch of Letterboxd ratings of that in the next couple of weeks.
Well, you know what? I really hope so, because even though it is a weird ass movie, it still deserves to be seen. I don't give a shit. It's not offensive.
He said about
well,
Ashley.
Maybe he can throat punch you because he actually sees you.
Yeah, he does see me. You got to check out Marrowbone. Don't throat punch me. I don't know why he would get. The only reason he would throat punch me is over Men or Color Out of Space, and both of those movies sucked. So
Men sucked.
You liked Color Out of Space?
I haven't finished it.
Your room looks like.
That's one of those movies I started when I was tired.
Your room right now behind you with all the purple looks like Color Out of Space because of all the colors.
Oh, that's my screensaver.
Yeah, it sucks. Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Always, whenever you stream with me, you put Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter on. Put something else on.
Because more lighthearted. It looks good.
Something lighthearted like The Accused on in the background. Just let the movie play out.
Well, then you'd get copyrighted.
I would get copyrighted. Bonnie. What's up, Bonnie? Bonnie's in the chat. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. Mama Bonnie. Johnny. Bonnie. Johnny Bonnie. Okay. All right. I'm done.
So it was pretty successful then.
Oh, your list was really good. I really liked it. There's 3 movies that are 4 stars or higher, and Whip It could honestly get a 4. To have 3 movies that I gave a 4 or higher, like that's huge. 8 out of 10 above 3 stars. But I always tell people, and I've all the movies, the 9 out of 10 I've done so far, everyone has gotten at least 1 4-star on there. No matter how much I hated their other movies, everything like everybody, and that's why I'm always like, listen, I'm grateful. I feel more bad. I feel bad, feel worse if I hate your list than you would. Trust me, because I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I hope she's not upset. I don't want her to be mad. Like, I appreciate the list you got. Like, that's how I am. I don't get upset. I don't. Some people are like, oh, I'm sorry I wasted your time. I'm like, look, I'm glad. I like watching movies I've never seen. I'm happy to watch first time watches. Like, I want more of that. So I'll never be upset.
Yeah.
Like, granted, I don't want 10 out of 10 1-stars. I will be like, seriously, you don't know me at all.
That would suck.
Yeah, I'll be like,
Yeah.
really? Like, have you not watched my other streams?
Well, and see, I try to give you movies that people actually know. I mean, I gave you 2 weird ones just because you need weird ones if you're going to get a list from me, because if you can't tell by the assortment, there's a very wide range of variety here. And that's my movie taste. Is everywhere.
And I do, like, that's how I do people's list too. Like, Fishes is next week, and I was telling Mizzy, I didn't tell him what, but I was like, bro, there is a hodgepodge of everything from the 70s to everything on Fish's list. I was like, so you get a little bit of everything, and I like that though. But I've been getting the more lists as people go through and recommend a second list to me. Like Tim, he was like, look, he's like, I'm gonna put 1 comedy, but I know I shouldn't. He's like, but you're going to get 1 comedy, because people now know, like, no, don't give me comedies. So he gave me like 9 movies with heavy topics. He's like, I think I know you better now. And I was like, perfect. I was like, yes, heavy, depressing. That's what I want, more of that. So it makes sense why The Accused was number 1, right? Now, does it make sense? Or no?
It does, but it still shocks me. It does.
Okay. Well, I am curious. Can you please tell me what your predictions for me were?
Do you want me to start from 10 and go up?
Yeah, go from 10 to go.
Okay.
Yeah, start at 10 and then go down to number 10. Yeah.
I basically only got 1 right. So I got.
You wanted to get really close. You weren't even close. What is your number 10, Gentlemen?
I mean,
Bronco?
the bottom, I knew the bottom, but they just got a little mixed up. So anyways, I went Gentlemen Broncos. Then I went Wild America, because I thought you were going to not like it because it's like a kid movie. Under the Silver Lake.
So you were right there.
I put The Night Eats the World. Now, I thought Nightcrawler was going to be too weird for you.
Okay.
See? That's why I had it lower. Then I had the Frighteners, because I was like, it could be further down, but whatever. Then I had The Accused.
Ooh, number 4?
Love Lies Bleeding.
3. Okay.
Yes. And then number 2 is Whip It, and then number 1 would have been Before Sunset.
Okay. I mean, you were right on. You knew the bottom, you knew the top for the most part, except for The Accused. It's just like,
it's just switch.
Just flip them. Yeah. So you were right there. So you kind of knew what you were getting with me. But I really thought Gentleman's Bronco. I thought you thought that was my number 10. I'm kind of surprised. Wait,
I did say that was your number 10.
That's the only one you got right. Yeah, you knew that.
Yes. Yeah. If I would have switched Wild America and Under the Silver Lake, I would have got all 3 of the bottom right.
Yeah, but I liked Wild America enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I rank yours that I did?
By all means.
Yes. Okay. Number 10, Wild America. Number 9, Gentleman's Bronco. Is it Gentleman Bronco? Gentleman Broncos or
Gentleman Broncos?
Okay, stupid title. Number 8, Under the Silver Lake. Number 7, The Night Eats the World. Number 6, The Frighteners. Number 5, The Accused. Okay, this is tough. Like, number 4, Before Sunset. Number 3, Love Lies Bleeding. I really thought number 2 would be Whip It. Number 1, Nightcrawler, but maybe 1 is those. I got to be right on number 1 and 2, or flip flopped. I know those have to be your top 2. I'll be shocked if they're not.
You want me to say it?
Yes, please.
Okay, Gentlemen Broncos.
Good.
Wild America.
Okay.
The Night Eats the World.
Okay.
Under the Silver Lake.
I was 10 through 7. I was correct on 2. Just flip flop as well. Wow, I'm good.
Yes. The Accused,
Okay.
The Frighteners, Love Lies Bleeding, Before Sunset, Nightcrawler, and Whip It.
I was wrong. I was right after I watched the two. 1 and 2. I should have flipped. I should have done it in the middle of the show.
Okay.
Heard you talk. I
I'll
was
give you
really
this.
close with your list. I
Listen.
did good too predicting it.
You were. So the reason why Whip It is before Nightcrawler is because I rewatch Whip It way more.
Okay.
And
It's
if
rewatch
some, like
stuff.
I've told you, if it's more rewatchable to me, it gets higher. And
Whip It
same with
too.
The Frighteners and The Accused. Because I've rewatched
Accused is not
Frighteners
something-
way more.
Yeah, you don't put the Accused down on a monthly basis. Yeah, that's not
I
something
sure
you're
don't.
gonna watch. Oh,
I'd
but I
rather
did
watch
recall.
anything else.
So a lot like Joe's list. After I watched a couple on Joe's list, and then Allie's list, I broke down. So like what I'll do is, because I have my dad over every once in a while, and I'm always trying to find new movies to watch with him. And it's so funny because now, after doing all these watch list streams, a lot of times I'm just taking movies that people recommended to me, their top ones that I liked, and I'm putting those on when he comes over. So like I really want my dad to see the one that was number 1 on Allie's list, but it's slow moving, so my dad might fall asleep if I don't put it on first. But I called my dad after The Accused, and I was like, "Have you ever seen that?" And he's like, "Yeah, Jodie Foster, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he'd already seen that one, but he liked The Accused a lot as well. He's like, I remember that one. So
great movie.
Nightcrawler's another one I think my dad would really like.
What was Allie's number 1 again?
Now you just In Cold July. It's it's not a really well-known movie, but it was my favorite.
I've heard of it.
Stuff. It's like a neo-noir almost. It's pretty slow, sort of, but that's why I'm like, listen, that was my number 1, and that's slow. So The Accused is slow, I would say, sort of. Like, I don't want to hear people tell me I don't like slow-moving movies. Go watch The Night Eats the World and tell me I don't like slow-moving movies, because that movie is about as slow as molasses. And I still love that. I liked The Night Eats the World a lot. I thought it was really good. I like movies that take a chance and are so different. And we'd never seen a zombie movie like that from somebody else's perspective, like being alone. And it would get lonely.
And see, I gave you a zombie movie that no one's heard of.
No, I don't think anybody's seen that one.
And people doubt it.
A couple letterbox reviews on that one though. Nice one, Holland. Can't wait, fish. Bob, I just hope you'll go number 5 for Ongbak. That movie is an absolute banger. I've never seen it. I'm so excited and nervous, Mizzy. Blueberries. Make a good fish. You'll do great. Don't let them give you crap. Don't let them give you crap. Well, he'll be the one giving me crap when they get to watch Molasses. When they get to watch the movies that I recommend them. And that's the thing. Like, Tim came on and he ripped me a new asshole with like the new 10-inch hero and swim fans as well. And listen, if I'm gonna do it to people, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take it in stride. Like I want you to I don't want you to sugarcoat it. Like, I'm gonna give you 10 movies to watch. I really want to do a good job. I don't put shit on, not intentionally. I do accidentally, I guess, but I wanted to take a shot at some movies like you did with The Night Eats the World that nobody's ever heard of. I did that with Tim, and it was as bad as having a 10-inch in his face, I guess, or something. Sorry, Tim. But,
oh, God.
Just didn't work. Great stream. Ashley gave you a badass list, Bob. I figured a lot of people would like your list a lot, so you did do good. This might be the longest stream. I thought Mizzy's would be, but we went longer. I thought we had a good conversation on most of them, so I'm glad. That's how the streams go. It'll be like a half hour and I'm five movies in, but the last 5 take like 2 hours to get through.
But that's a good thing then, because that means you really like the movie.
Exactly. There's a lot more to talk about. I have a lot more notes on them, so that's usually how it goes. And the funny thing about your list is, I did want to mention this, and I'm so glad I didn't log off without mentioning this. The first 8 I liked. The last 2 I watched were Under the Silver Lake and, Gentleman's Bronco, and then Under the Silver Lake. So I kind of had an idea that those were going to be the 2. Like, I wanted to, because you were 8 for 8 at first. I was like, I hope she's 10 for 10, because she would be up with Adam's list, but then you recommended those and it took your list. Oh yeah, I got to give you a rating. Your list is a 4. If like a high 4, it wasn't for those 2 shitty movies, and because of that, I gave your list 3. I give it a 3.5 because of those. So same as Mizzy, same as Joe, and same as Allie. 3.5. That's what I give it. Yes, they're ranking. They rank them. Would I recommend this list outside of the last 2? But no, seriously, I would recommend them. All of them. Go check them out. I never ever tell people I wouldn't. That's just rude. Would I buy these? I did already. I bought Night and I bought The Accused. What else? No, I would not buy Gentleman's Bronco. I do want to get. I collect all A24 movies, so I would like to get that. I want that A24 Love Lies Bleeding set, and I want that green Blu-ray case. So I'm going to come jack that from you.
No.
And I think that's about it. Frighteners I would buy as well. What would I rate the list? 3.5, and that is everything. So we're all caught up. Let's catch up with the chat. Great stream, guys. Thanks for the recommendations. Ashley added more to my list. Great stream as always, Bob. I appreciate it. Nice stream. Better ranked list than some like his. About his. He got a 2.5 overall rating.
Oh, poor Jeff.
Yeah, poor Jeff. His mom messaged me the next day and was like, that wasn't very nice. So I'm sorry, Nikki. I'm just joking. She didn't do that. But I don't want to spread lies. Good night, everyone. Tony's like, I'm out. I've been here for 2.5 hours. That's enough. Under the Silver Lake has a DVD. Does it? I thought it had a Blu-ray from A24.
I have a Blu-ray.
Yeah, it has a Blu-ray from A24.
It may be out of print.
Yeah, the slip is out of print probably. But yeah, that has a A24 Blu-ray for sure. Dakota Johnson approves of this stream. I love it. Yeah.
Best kind.
Sending hugs, everyone. Good night, Tony. And you've got a stream coming up, like Thursday next week? Big ass panel I saw with a bunch of people. Who's on that panel? Talk about your channel, talk about your Instagram if you want, or whatever, where people can find you, and who you want to throat punch or anything like that.
Well, you're the only one I want to throat punch, so. But maybe I'll just let Mizzy do it since he actually sees you. So
you do realize Mizzy will throat punch me.
I know.
And he'll be like, Ashley told me to do it.
It's deserved. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, you can find me on Instagram with my name, but just put an underscore because Instagram's stupid. Yeah, and then I'm going to be on Corey's channel next week with Joe, Jeff, the twins.
You, Mika, and Karen.
Yeah, Lauren. I think that's the first time she's going to be on a stream with any of us. She's been pretty cool. Like, she's been one of my favorite people I've met through Instagram. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then, what do they call? Oh, God, I think it's called I'm in Love with, or We're in Love with Horror, something like that. They're a married couple, and they're going to be on it. And then
I thought Corey put together a really good and a panel that doesn't always get to hang out together. So it's a unique panel for sure.
It's going to be awesome.
I've seen Analyzing Horror, which I believe is Lauren, right?
Yes.
I've seen her on like one stream, and that was on it was on Jody's. He's on like another. He does this stream with people, but I saw her on there. But outside of that, she just mostly posts on Instagram. I don't think she posts a lot on YouTube though.
No, I don't think she does it anymore. But yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. Just to hang out with all these people. But yeah, we'll be on that, and we're talking about 70s.
Yeah, I thought it was 70s. I better hear like Hills Have Eyes pop up. Hopefully, maybe some other stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Don't let me down. I'm counting on you. Good night, all. Everyone's saying good night. But yes, Under the Silver Lake did not get a slip for the Blu-ray only. DVD got a slip. Oh, wow. Yeah, Tony knows.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Well, good night, everyone. Hopefully she doesn't throat punch me backstage, but I am going to talk to you about 73 movies.
7